Gaming news today is all about change. First, it appears that GTA 6 is changing its approach to launching on PC. Companies in the industry seem to know about that timing change, and this has caused more speculation about the ever-mysterious GTA 6 release date. Second, Phil Spencer did another interview where he stressed just how much the Xbox brand and company is changing, and it's causing another bit of a stir in the gaming community. And third, a reliable insider has claimed that Sony is changing its approach to live service, and many fans will likely celebrate if this is in fact true. While we wait for other sources to corroborate, the claims do actually seem believable in light of recent developments with PlayStation live service games getting canceled. And in addition to this change, another insider is claiming that PlayStation is changing their approach to the summer showcase season. Fourth, and lastly, the release window for Fairgames has allegedly changed, and we will talk about what that means in light of the other things we're hearing about Sony's live service plans that are allegedly changing. Like I said, the theme is change. Everything's changing, right? Now, I also always have a game for your wish list and your radar. If you like this kind of content, if you like these daily discussions, be sure to hit that like button. Right now, especially, it's super important. If you're in that live audience, hit the like button. Even if you're watching later, it helps. Be sure to hit subscribe and check your bell button that it's set to all. And if you want to support the channel directly, we do have a big membership goal going right now, and you can help us by clicking join and picking Member Plus. You get into a segment I call the Green Room at the end of every day. So let's jump into this. The GTA 6 PC release date and the GTA 6 release date. Very quickly here, in case you missed it, I already covered the Strauss-Zelnick comments where he seemed to indicate that GTA 6 would be coming to PC faster this time around. That was my own sort of prediction and interpretation of his remarks. Well, it seems that my observations may have been correct, because GTA 6 is expected to come to PC in early 2026, according to a Corsair executive. Now, the same executive also backed up the fall 2025 console release window. Corsair's gaming VP said the following on an earnings call: "My understanding now is that it's going to come out in the fall for console and then early 26 for PC." Now, this obviously gives the boys on PC plenty of reason to hold off on getting a console to play GTA 6 if they have shrunk that window, and the fall release for GTA 6 is now being speculated. Kotaku has gone so far as to say that they think October the 28th is the most likely date. Their logic and claim is that it is the final Tuesday in October, and Rockstar historically likes releasing games in October. And I'll even add to the theory, Borderlands 4 is releasing on September the 23rd, and that sparked a lot of debate because people were wrongfully thinking that Take-Two had said that Borderlands 4 would release after GTA 6. They actually never said that. They simply said that Borderlands 4 would be releasing in the calendar year. So a month after Borderlands 4 drops end of September, GTA 6 drops end of October, I think that would work. If an NBA 2K game is coming this year, it released in September in 2024, so that likely wouldn't step on it. WWE is releasing in March, Mafia the Old Country is releasing in the summer, and Civ 7 has already released. So a late October release date honestly seems like a very probable date given the year that Take-Two is having. So that's it for GTA 6. We have commentary now backing my own interpretation of Strauss-Zelnick's comments that it's going to come to PC faster, and then a likely October late date. Then we had a Phil Spencer interview, another Phil Spencer interview. I don't mean to be in front of him right now. He's down here in the corner. Let me not be in front of our man Phil, okay, for this little segment we're going to do. Phil Spencer has once again stressed just how much Xbox is changing. He sat down with the Xbox era boys for their 250th episode, and two revelations are making the rounds. The first is the following about not wanting people to move anymore. He said, quote, "I'm not trying to move them all over to Xbox anymore. People were also invested in where our games are. Let's just allow more people to play. And yes, the 70% that we make on games on other platforms is helpful to us being able to build great portfolios like we show to the Dev Direct, and I hope this will continue to show through the rest of the year." So through the rest of the year, you're going to continue to see their emphasis on putting games in more places, and he doesn't see the point in trying to bring people to Xbox. So that's now no longer his vision. This again casts some doubt on his comments about future Xbox hardware. If you're not trying to coax people to your hardware, then what's the point of the hardware? Like, he literally said in a previous interview that he wants to win the hardware fight. He wants the hardware to win because it's good, because it offers great features. But if you're not trying to coax people to Xbox anymore, I don't understand his previous comments about hardware. He also spoke to Nintendo logos and PlayStation logos showing up in Xbox showcases going forward. He said, quote, "I think it's just being honest and transparent about where the games are showing." And we actually even had this discussion last year for the June showcase, and by the time we kind of made our decision, we couldn't get all of the assets done, and it felt weird to have some of them in and some of them out. But I just want to be transparent with people. If we're shipping on Nintendo Switch, we're going to put that. If we're shipping on PlayStation, on Steam, people should know the storefronts where they can get our games, but I want people to be able to experience our Xbox community and our games and everything we have to offer on every screen we can. Now, some people have pushed back, and they have said, listen, he's talking all about transparency now because it's kind of unavoidable. You can't really hide what you're doing anymore, Phil. And the lead up to this year, many have claimed that he lacked transparency, making it seem like not all games would move, and now the floodgates are opening after being told just 4 games. I'm going to continue to say that it was obvious, and folks were just willfully lying to themselves or lying to the public when they acted like this was not the destination, and it was made crystal clear by the CFO the end of 2023. So it's been more than a year that this was painted very clearly, but people just generally were either in denial or flat out lying to themselves or their audiences. So the Xbox Showcase this summer will likely have a very different feel to it compared to previous years. Now, that's not the only thing changing for the summer. Apparently, Sony is changing course in its approach to the summer. 2 big ways that Sony's changing, actually, according to insiders. And first is with respect to live service. Reliable insider Sneaker SO said that the following is changing for Sony. They said, quote, SIE started their pivot away from the games-as-a-service Western investment approach to game dev last year. They put the decision-making control of SIE as a portfolio back into Japan's hands. This is an overall great thing for SIE, and while some of the results of the pivot away won't start getting felt until next year at the earliest, each subsequent year will get noticeably better for them. Just a shame they burned 3 years of output at this altar. Now, this will likely be celebrated by PlayStation fans who did not like the push for live service, if this is in fact true. The recent batch of canceled live service games seems to corroborate the claims that Sneaker is making. Now, Herman Hulst did say just recently in an interview that they are going to continue their push into live service. It may look very different than what was originally planned, though. It could look more like the NC Soft, mobile PC MMO that they're building for Horizon. They may start pushing into markets where MMOs and online live service games are already successful and move away from what they were trying with Concord. It also calls into question a game delay that we're going to talk about in just a moment. Now, the second big change, this is according to another insider, Jeff Grubb has claimed that PlayStation is considering doing a showcase this summer instead of a state of play. And apparently, they are leaning toward the showcase. Like, in the decision making right now, they're like, yeah, we should probably do a showcase. Now, this would actually make sense. The last showcase they did was in 2023, and they had so much that they had to cover and announce. The final 20 minutes was just all Spider-Man 2. They could do something very similar this year with Ghosts of Yotei. I thought they were going to do that at the State of Play. They ended up not doing it. And as many people that complained about the PlayStation State of Play, indications right now are that it broke viewership records, because when it's 46 minutes and it's over 30 announcements, the gaming world at large probably celebrated that and was very excited, unlike all of the naysayers and complainers on Twitter, and even false headlines from folks like Eurogamer claiming that PlayStation is going to have a relatively quiet year. Doesn't seem that quiet when you look at the revenue, and it certainly doesn't look that quiet when you look at the results of their State of Play and their market dominance that continues to grow. Now, as far as their live service efforts, though, we do have a new story. Fairgames has been allegedly pushed into 2026. This again could corroborate the claims of Sneaker SO that they are changing their approach to live service. This, to me, is one of the games that needs to go through significant changes. I don't think a competitive heist game is going to do very well. The news of this hit in the wake of canceled live service games, as well as the claim that Sony is changing their approach. So maybe Fairgames is going to go through some significant changes and maybe land closer to a PvE-focused game like Helldivers 2. We will obviously have to wait and see how this develops, but I think the absence of live service games in 2025 from PlayStation is a good move after what happened to Concord last year. All right, we're almost ready to talk to the live audience. Make sure you guys are smashing that like button. I got a game for your wish list and your radar. This one is called Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree. Slash, burn, and rage your way through Mandragora, a 2.5D side-scroller action RPG with deep Metroidvania and Souls-like elements. Light your witch lantern, enter the dark realm of entropy, and tear reality asunder. This game is coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles and Steam on April the 17th. So it's just around the corner. Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree. So check that one out. Another good one coming this year, multi-platform. Always good to see these platformers and Metroidvanias getting the love. So just a quick recap. GTA 6 is allegedly coming to PC faster, according to another company, not them or a rumor mill, which is making people speculate about the release date. Phil Spencer did another interview where he said he doesn't want to get people to convince them to come to Xbox anymore, and reliable insiders are saying that Sony's changing its approach to live service as well as a showcase this year, and Fairgames has allegedly been pushed to 2026. That's the news, and now it's time for the discussion. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening. I forgot to set the super chat goal, so hopefully nobody did a super chat just yet. I always gift a member every 5 super chats, and thank you guys so much for an incredible week last week. With the return to form, I was out of town, and you couldn't have felt it last week at all. We bounced all the way back. So many members, so many renewals, and Han shot first, and so did you. Joker Quinn with the first gifted member of the day, and Madam's down there in the corner. Madam will return to Kingdom Come Deliverance this week. If you guys hit that goal, we will do that on Friday night. So thank you, Joker Quinn. And anybody who upgrades, you count as a double. So continue to help us with that Member Plus goal. We are trying to get more and more people onto Member Plus, and we appreciate everybody who has done that. So good morning to you. Go through that morning ritual, and let's get the like count to 200. There's already a bunch of you here. What do you guys want to talk about? There is a lot going on. We had big GTA 6 news. We had big Xbox news. We had big PlayStation news. That's pretty much the 3 heavy hitters right now while we wait for the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct in April. It's crazy how many podcasters have proven him wrong, and he still gets on here and continues to lie. I'm not lying about anything. I haven't lied about a single thing. Pretty much all of my predictions about what Xbox was going to do, what they were going to do with their acquisitions, their titles, it's all come true. I'm not really quite sure who you're watching, but the people who consistently lie about me and misrepresent my content are a joke. I don't know why you're bothering coming here after watching such abysmal content. Seth with a $5 super chat tip says, have you played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black? I tried it and it just wasn't for me. The camera was like, no thank you. I've been going back through my backlog. I played through Tales of Iron 1 and 2. I played through Plague Tale Requiem. I played through Nine Souls. Ninja Gaiden was just not doing it for me. Raphael with a gifted member. Thank you so much. And a Member Plus renewal from Dodeva's 38 months. He says, with the renewal, guess you know what happens next. Yo, good to see you, Dodeva. Thank you for that ritual. And a Member Plus from Hotshot says, a renewal. I forgot about it. That's 3 members to add to the count, and that gets us to 4. And then a 5th is a VIP from Dylan. I love Reforge Gaming. Keep up the hard work. And a 5 bomb comes in from Dodevas. He does it every month. What a great ritual. Already to 10 members on the day, and a $5 super chat tip from Arkham Knight. I believe the way the game industry is going for the best. I believe push to bring better content and quality to gaming, and a VIP plus from Behemoth. He says, add me on there, man. 47 months. Appreciate you, Behemoth. So many of you guys brought the heat last week. We had so many new members added to the total. Y'all are the best. Even putting the finishing touches on God of War Ragnarok. This King guy is a real... Yeah, some of those fights, man, they can be pretty tough. They're fun, though. Fairgames belongs buried with Stadia where it belongs. And a single gifted comes in from Dylan. Thank you so much, Dylan. I appreciate it very, very much. And a 5 bomb comes in from Behemoth and takes us all the way up to 17. You guys are really, really burning it quick today. A little member train for your Monday morning. And while you're hearing the member train and you're hearing me talk, do me a favor. Let's get those first 200 likes, man. We could easily do that. There's a lot of you here already. Christopher Burnett says, my prediction for GTA 6 release date may still come true and tracks the previous games being released in October, specifically the OG GTA 3 trilogy, which all released the last week of October. Yeah, Kotaku basically made their prediction. They're like, it's the 28th. They're like, it's the last Tuesday, and I'm like, I kind of added to their theory. I'm like, it's a month after Borderlands, and it's got plenty of distance from all their other games that they're coming out with. GTA 6 will be November or delayed. If it gets delayed, again, Corsair's understanding of the GTA 6 release date is that it's coming to PC early next year, and I had already kind of made that observation. I made that prediction. I was like, if you listen to Strauss Zelnick's comments about PC, they seem to be prioritizing PC more this time than they have in previous years. In previous years, they would make you wait like 18 months or something like that. It sounds like you're going to maybe wait 6 months this time around because, again, Strauss seemed to think that there was greater opportunity for growth on PC, and then Corsair saying that's their understanding of the timing. Maybe that was like an internal conversation or a memo, or I don't know. I'm kind of surprised they let that slip. That seemed like something that would be kind of locked down, but that was what the VP of Corsair Gaming said. No Man's Sky is killing my OCD. Got 14 creatures on a world. I have 13 out of 14 found. Spent 5 hours yesterday looking for the last one. Sometimes you got to check the water. If you usually can't find that final one, it's somewhere in the water. So it's another team, I would think. Maybe they could have a separate team for it to make sure that it gets ported quicker. What's good, Real Mex? How are you? GTA 5 released on PC like 2 years after the fact. Yeah, I don't think they're taking that approach this time. I think they've seen, the growth and the saturation. They probably have also just seen, GTA Online monetization structure also do very well. I got to pick that up and actually buy it. Lono gifted me both God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I needed them day of, and so once the discs showed up, I just gave you the codes. I forgot that I did that. Did you try Munhunt Wilds Open Beta? I did not. I will try that on my Pro when it comes out. I'm really, really interested to see what Monster Hunter Wilds performance mode looks like on the Pro versus the base PS5. The base PS5 is going to use FSR 1, which doesn't exactly bode a lot of confidence. And PSSR, I don't know if it's been tested in that engine just yet. Is it the same engine as Dragon's Dogma 2? I think it is, isn't it? Because if it is, then PSSR got pretty good results there, so we'll see. Has there been confirmation of Gears coming to PlayStation? There has not been any confirmation of Gears of War coming to PlayStation other than virtually everybody with a source has said that Gears and Halo are coming to PlayStation. Night Rain was getting 60 in quality. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Night Rain's not exactly probably a graphical tour de force. That's not like a next-gen game with high-res textures and lighting. Dragon's Dogma 2 was much better optimized even at launch. Any chance the PC version drops with console? I don't think so, because in the same interview that I referred to, Alex, Strauss Zelnick basically said that's what they do. They focus on console first and then come to PC later. So I don't think he said that if it's not true. I think he was setting expectations, but I also think he was letting folks know we're coming to PC faster this time around. And then the guy from Corsair said what he said, and it's like, oh yeah, they're having a shorter window between console release and PC release. I dropped this date in January. That's Photoshop Hilly. Did you mention Marathon might get shown in April? I didn't see that leak, FCAT. All I saw was that Marathon was not at the state of play because everyone is essentially speculating that Bungie's going to do their own thing. And I said that that's a pretty fair prediction. Given their pattern, Bungie does like to do their own stuff. They've got their own studio space for it. I ran a video game club at my school, and a PS3 was donated. That hooked me, and then I let Lono borrow it later to play Tlu, and that got him. Yeah, what convinced me that PlayStation made really, really incredible games was playing The Last of Us on the PlayStation 3. Yeah. DK Bager gifts a member and gets us a little bit closer to the first 5 that I owe you guys. 18 members already. Guys, make sure you're celebrating your renewals, and make sure you're going through your ritual of pressing the like button. Make sure it's saving your like, too. YouTube's been a little squirrely lately, and we've only been streaming for 19 minutes. You guys are already crushing it. Welcome on into Monday morning. A lot of gaming news. Thank goodness the floodgates seem to be opening, and we have things to discuss. GTA 6 PC release date. We had Phil Spencer interviews. He's like, I'm not trying to get people to come to Xbox anymore. I found that to be a bit of a contradiction to his previous interview where he was talking about hardware and wanting to win their hardware to win. I'm like, win what? If you're not trying to convince people to come to Xbox, why would you have hardware and want it to win? That doesn't, those seem to be mutually exclusive goals. Exclusivity is dumb. I would never have met my best gaming buddy on Xbox if it didn't allow Sea of Thieves to PlayStation. I don't think exclusivity is dumb at all. I think it leads to great game design and great quality, and then you can always port it to other platforms later, which is precisely what you just described. After upgrading BioShock and TLU on PS3, oh, that was your intro? Has anybody played Elder Scrolls Online on the PS5 Pro? I'm sure people here have. Days Gone literally made me buy a PS4 end of last gen. Oh yeah, we should check the comments on my latest video. If you guys didn't see my latest video, I have one up right now about how Saros is redefining what a sequel can be. Somebody says, I can't wait to play this on PC. Did you play Returnal on PC? It's a great port. If you guys, it's a great port. It is a great port. That game is so worth playing. Isn't this what the kids call a spiritual successor? Seems like even more than that. I don't think Saros is just a spiritual successor. I think it's quite a bit more than that. Sequel that follows the same principles of the past game, but not the same story, is not a new thing. Square Enix has been doing this with their games for decades. I do think the added mechanic will help. Yeah, this feels different, though. I don't think this is what Square has done. This feels very different what they're doing from Returnal to Saros. When other channels are mainly focused on your bad comments and takes, and then they're more successful than you, time to reflect. Don't care. Free advertisement. Yeah. Free advertisement. And most of the channels that make content about me are bigger than me, so seems kind of pathetic. Great video, Lono. I gotta be honest, I thought Resident Evil Village was Game of the Year till I played Returnal. Saros is a day one. Yeah, dude. To me, I felt like Returnal was the Game of the Year. Sir Lightstorm with a gifted member. Somebody with a white badge is gifting a member. That's a big deal. That's a brand new member, gifting a member to somebody else. Thank you, Sir Lightning Storm. If you guys have a membership, make sure it's at Member Plus. Make sure it is at Member Plus. Can't wait to see what you think of Saros. I never played Returnal, but the trailers like Saros and Intergalactic have made me seriously consider picking up a PS5 for myself. Do it, Cisco. Do it. Toldar says, to be fair, spiritual sequels are not a new thing. This is so much more. This is so much more than that. It's not just a spiritual successor. I think that that's such a simplistic view of it. They're clearly trying to build a franchise in disguise. It's me, Ravenstorm. I can't link my account. Oh, you're Lightning Storm. Okay, thank you, Raven. Thank you for gifting a member. Thank you for being here. The Reforge haters are coming in hot. I've never understood why people think that that's some kind of a dunk. Like, you're making content about me. Nobody's making content about you. Like, okay, you want to keep freely promoting me. Check my metrics on my days off. Y'all keep me humming. Stonespire says, while rogues have never been my kind of game, I really like the way they're making the spiritual successor of Returnal unique in its own way while keeping it similar to the first one. Agreed. Well, now I want to play Returnal again. Same. I had to resist the urge over the weekend. To play Returnal. I just kept moving through Final Fantasy 16, and holy cow, the story gets so good. It gets so good. Arkham Knight gifts a member, and we're now a 5-bomb away. Somebody dunk it home. I owe you guys 5 members every 25. Thank you so much, Arkham Knight. Yeah, Saros is going to be different. There will be more permanent upgrades and unlocks. It will genuinely seem like you're actually progressing even when you die, and I think that's going to give it more broad appeal. That was something that people really got snagged on with Returnal. They were like, they did not like the dying and going back to the beginning, and Biome 3 was so imbalanced. A lot of the gaming press didn't even finish the game, so their reviews were very incomplete, and my review was incomplete. And then when they fixed Biome 3 and I beat the game, my entire opinion of the game changed. I was like, this is the best game this year. This is game of the year. It's just phenomenal. Lono hit that Bahamut fight in FF16. I did! Dude, the flashback The flashback where you find out, no spoilers, the flashback where you find out why that little kid has blood on his face, it was incredible. I was like, this is like a TV show that I also get to enjoy amazing combat in. Like, what a great combination. That cutscene was so unbelievable. Wait till Lona gets the minute. Yeah, wait until. Can we get some wait untils in chat? Wait until. Guys, it looks like YouTube's not saving your likes. Everybody right now double check that it's saving your likes. Let's get to 200 likes. Hilly left a comment and said, okay, I've added Returnal to my wish list on Steam. Next sale, I'll give it a go, but just know Rogue Games and my keyboard lifecycle have a symbiotic relationship. That's hilarious. That is funny. Thank you so much, Hilly, and hopefully you don't break your controller. And a Member Plus renewal from Jeraith says, this year is already great. Monster Hunter Wilds, Borderland 4, myriad of returning franchises, and a better job to pay for it all. Reforge is the best place for gaming news. Congrats on the new job and the Member Plus in 20 months. And Arkham Knight's going to gift another member, and that gets us to 22 members. Thank you guys so much for spamming the chat with wait until. We all know that you got to wait until, always. Thank you for watching. Big Boss says, great video, Lono. I wish I could reset my memories of this game and replay it for the first time again. One of the best PS5 games. It's so good. It's just so good, especially when you start over. If you actually start over on like another account and you're like slowly unlocking things, it can be very, very cool. No, boy, you don't need to spam the same question so much, homie. I'll answer your question. You're just going to annoy everybody in chat. When do you think Forza Horizon 5 will be on PS5? Also, will you play it? No, I don't have any interest in Forza Horizon 5. I played Gran Turismo 7, probably a grand total of 2 hours. Most of that is in VR or my friends trying it out in VR. I'm just really not... I'm not a car guy, a car game guy. I just don't play them. I'm excited for the guys that like those games. I know Forza. I've always given Forza Horizon specifically its flowers. Gorgeous game, well-built game, and I'm excited for the people that like those kind of games to be able to play it, but it's just not for me. Was there a press release about Saros? That trailer didn't indicate really anything about the game will be about. Yeah, there was a whole blog post on it, Hadigan. You're just telling me that you didn't watch my video. I give you a pretty decent amount of detail and information at the end of the video, so you're just telling on yourself. Either that or maybe you missed the premiere and caught the tail end or something. Yeah, there's a whole blog, and I pulled out the choice info in the video. When is the rumored Xbox hardware coming next year? I have no idea. I thought Jez Corden shot that down. That like there is hardware coming, but it's not next year. Because there was something that came out and it had like a code name. I can't frickin' remember what it was called. But yeah, I don't know, dude. As far as hardware from them, I just take everything Phil says about hardware with a grain of salt. There's just not a whole lot of reason to take it to the bank. I think they're going to do a handheld. That's about the only confident thing I can say about about it. I can't say much more than that. Mainly because they make it really, really difficult to know where they're headed. It's like every other week there's been a change. Every other month there's been a change. And then, Phil comes out and does this interview circuit. And he's just driving home the point that, yeah, our games are going everywhere. But then he makes these comments that don't seem to line up. Like, if you're going to do hardware and you want to win hardware, why are you telling Xbox Era that you're not trying to bring people to Xbox anymore? Now, somebody might push back and say, well, but Lono, the context is king here, right? The context of him saying that was about games going to other places. Well, okay. So if hardware to you is completely separate, I am genuinely interested in what they do with hardware then. What are you going to do to convince me to get your hardware if you're not going to use games to do it? I'm late. What's your predictions on the rumored State of Play showcase? It actually makes sense to me, Ugly Nerd, because They haven't done a showcase since 2023. I don't think they wanted to do a showcase last year because their big first party was Astrobot. And Astrobot did well. It sold well and got a ton of awards and has really, really cemented them with a younger generation to the point that Hiroki Totoki said they want to do more family games. However, it wasn't probably a good year for a showcase. This year would be a great year for a showcase because they treated, the last 20 minutes of the showcase in 2023, they gave Spider-Man like 20 minutes. I think they could do something similar with Ghost of Yotei. I think I misjudged when Yotei's coming out. I thought it was going to be first half of the year. It could be like a summer or second half of the year release, and they give it a pretty good chunk of time and do an actual showcase. So I thought they were done doing showcases. I told people at the end of last year, I was like, I don't think PlayStation's doing showcases anymore. I think they're just doing state of plays. But you have to consider, think about like next year. Allegedly, next year is going to be like Fairgames and Intergalactic and Wolverine and probably Saros. I mean, that's a pretty dadgum big lineup to not do a showcase. And this year, as far as their publishing efforts go, because again, you have to consider, and this is why Herman Hulst referred to Death Stranding 2 as a first-party effort from them in that one interview, because they're publishing it. As far as their publishing efforts go, they've got 3 strong pushes this year. Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, and Lost Soul aside, those are all strong publishing efforts. Amanda Hump, you didn't get me. Thank you so much for the 5-bomb. You almost got me. That was pretty good. The picture distracted me a little bit. I was like, maybe this is somebody named Amanda, but thank you so much for the 5-bomb. That was you almost got me. I think the last name Hump was just too obvious. Yeah, that's probably Mr. Oxmall. Welcome back, Mr. Oxmall. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted members. You gotta be a little bit more creative than that. That one was a little too easy to spot. One of the problems with Returnal is it launched just a little after Hades, which was a way more complete rogue. Happy to have played Returnal first and platinumed it. I don't think anybody was comparing Hades to Returnal. I think that's a very, very strange thing to claim. Also, I don't think Returnal's issue was that it wasn't a complete rogue. It was that people didn't complete it. I read numerous reviews at the time of people who didn't finish the game. They couldn't get past Biome 3. I was one of those people. The game convinced me that rogues could be fun. And I was like, yo, let me play this game. And then I got to that third biome like everybody else, and I just couldn't get past it, A bunch of people didn't get past Biome 4. Yeah, I mean, it really stalled people out. It really, really did. I love Hades, but it doesn't hold a candle to Returnal. And then Lisa says, so agreed. But I don't understand. You just said Hades was which is a way more complete rogue. Happy to have played Returnal first and platinumed it. But I thought you just said that Hades was a more complete rogue. Returnal was a bit of a glitch mess on launch. No, it wasn't. I still don't have Biome 6 boss trophy because it glitched out on the boss from appearing before going down the hole for the ending. It wasn't a glitch mess, though. There was an issue with the DLC costume. There was not that many glitches in that game when it came out. It was not a glitch mess. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's a bummer. But the only major glitches that I heard about at the time was if you wore the one DLC costume, it could cause issues. So I don't know. I think that's maybe a bit of an overstatement. Obviously, your interpretation of the game would be more extreme, getting all the way to the end and having that. It also has an audio bug in Biome 6 when using one weapon, the Dayseeker. They're very different rogues, but Hades really put the genre front and center at the time. I feel it was bigger budgets. Here's one of the reasons why Hades probably got more, I would say, better treatment from the market. You knew what you were getting when you played Hades, so the right people played it. A lot of people did not know that Returnal was a rogue, so a lot of people played it and were really harsh, and they just didn't like it. And it's like, well, you got a rogue, and then you complained about having to start over. That's so backwards. That would have been like playing Hades and complaining about that, right? So I also think the meta progression is far more apparent in Hades. In Returnal, there's meta progression, but it's super subtle. It's way more understated. It's harder to detect that you are making progress. something that they could have done with Returnal to make that the most, I think, more obvious is whatever gun you died with, they could have put it in the first room, and then you would have started to piece together, oh, the more I use these weapons, the more that it benefits me. So if you like spent an entire run working on one gun and you get it leveled up and you get some good perks, but then you die at the boss and then you jump back in, walk into the first room, and they're like, yeah, here's that gun again at the level, maybe not at the level that you were, but it's got the perks unlocked or whatever. Like, I think that might have made it more clear to people that this is a game worth investing in. But because you might not even see that gun again on the next run, it was more difficult for people to deduce that they were actually making progress even if they died. It's harder to detect that meta progression. Like Hades, it's obvious. You're unlocking weapons, you're spending money to be stronger in the one room, you're unlocking new sections of the area. Like, it was a more traditional approach to the rogue where you start back at like a base and the base is changing, the dialogue is changing, the stuff you can do is changing. Returnal was just like, yep, you're back at your ship, and you're like, what the frick? And then it's like, it's harder to know, wait, did I get anything for that run at all? You're also unlocking artifacts and things that can make you stronger. Carbine with leech rounds. Yeah, carbine with leech. The reason that I was able to beat Biome 3 the first time that I tried it after it got rebalanced, I had a perk that healed me at low health. And there's really long windows of time in that boss fight where you don't take any damage because you're just kind of falling and it's easy to not get hurt. So anytime I got low damage, I would just slowly heal back up. Even if he hit me once, it didn't matter. It would just put me back down. I would be falling and be far away, and then I would heal back up. If you guys are tuning in for GTA 6 news, this was an actual thing that happened. This isn't some rumor mill thing. The VP of Corsair Gaming said that his understanding is that GTA 6 is coming in the fall of 2025, and it's coming to PC early 2026. So I observed last week that Strauss Zelnick seemed to make it sound like GTA 6 release date on PC was going to be faster, and it seems that Corsair's understanding is the same. Denver with a month of Member Plus. Is Mike a problem for you? No, that's not a problem for me, but I appreciate you trying again. That guy has super chatted a handful of times. We're at 28 members. I will do 5 every 25. I've been preferring to do 10 bombs. If you guys want to scramble to 50, I'll drop a 10 bomb on chat. Happy Cloud Gamer says, my dream in the future is one app on TV that you can play everything of games through cloud, third-party and first-party games from everyone, like streaming in the cloud. I know you love cloud gaming. I don't. I enjoy using it on my portal, but it will never be the primary way that I game. A $5 super chat tip from Borbor Country says, Returnal misinformation from YouTubers who either didn't finish the game or were doing negative farming, and people are sheep looking at their takes. Thank you guys so much, man. We've already got 3 super chats on the goal. 2 more to make. Confetti. Some comments on my Soros video. This guy says, I need to go back to Returnal and finish it. I had the same problem with Biome 3 and it became way too much. It is a very balanced biome now. Yeah, you got to go back. You have to go back. We have to go back, Kate! I always felt it was criminal that this wasn't even nominated at the Game Awards in 2021. Easily my favorite game. It got Action Game at the Game Awards, but deserved the Game of the Year nom 1,000% more than Deathloop. Yeah, Deathloop was just such a mediocre game in comparison. Returnal was such a superior game than Deathloop. Deathloop getting a Game of the Year nomination and Returnal not. I mean, Returnal got Game of the Year at the BAFTAs later, so I mean, it got its flowers eventually. I can't tell if you're calling me a horse or a pony. Maybe he's calling you both. Liquid Smoke says, my cousin had the first 2 Halo games. I remember playing couch co-op with him, playing through the campaign. It was a fun time for sure. Yeah, pretty much all of my experience with Halo campaigns back in the day was just co-op with a sibling or a friend. Nosy Norwal says, Lono, did you hear Colin's take on the Xbox community change on stance, flip-flopping? It was such a grand, well-stated, and true statement. I mean, I had a video about that on Twitter get almost 200,000 views because I was just like, nobody's asking the right questions. It's like the question you should be asking is not like, well, what's PlayStation and Nintendo going to do? The question you should be asking is, why does everybody just immediately get in line and follow the talking points as if they work for Microsoft? Aaron Wright with 26 months. What up, Reforge? Anyone planning to jump into Elden Ring, Night Ring? Keep up the good work. Thanks. The channel is fire. Thank you so much, Aaron Wright. He gets us one member away from 30. Thank you so much, Aaron, for doing that. Bumping the line with those member renewals. What do you think some of the major differences between GTA 5 and GTA 6? It seems like GTA 6 is going to be more grounded in reality. I don't think GTA 6 is going to be as satirical. It seems like the story is of a more serious nature. It also seems like they're trying to do more of a reflective mirror. Like, hey, this is what society looks like right now. You know, they've got like the viral videos, like all the vertical videos and vertical streams and people doing crazy things just to get likes and hearts. That doesn't feel satirical to me. That feels like a reflection of what society has become. And it seems as though they're inviting you into that world. Returnal Better, Kingslayer, with 11 months, gets us to 30 members. This is sometimes when we see our first 20 bomb of the week. We are now 20 members away from 50. Good setup, Kingslayer. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Me showing up as a youngster, just turned 30 years old. There you go. The Bonnie and Clyde was a story, right? And it seems to be like that's a more serious story. That doesn't seem to be like a satirical story. Adam with 21 months. Hey everyone, hope everyone's having a great day, and remember to hit the like button. Adam Lee is using his renewal to say hit the like button. If you guys have a membership and it doesn't say member plus, you need to bump up so you can have your membership count towards the goal. Derek says, what makes a rogue? Repeating loop, limited item carry through. If you die, you start over. Sounds like Majora's Mask to me. Maybe I have played a rogue after all. I believe Majora's Mask would not be classified as a rogue because the internal time system of Majora's Mask is the primary mechanic. The primary mechanic in a rogue is you die and you start over. A true rogue is you get nothing. Roadkill with 23 months says, hit the like button. Another membership renewal, telling people to hit the like button. The primary mechanic being that you have got to go back to the beginning and you have nothing with you. Nothing. I mean nothing. So like traditional rogues would be like Binding of Isaac. Now you unlock characters, but Binding of Isaac would be like a more traditional rogue where like when you die, you literally go all the way back to the beginning. One that would be far more light in its rogue elements would be something like Sundered, where you go back to the beginning, but your boss checkpoints are saved. If you've killed things, your skill tree saves, things like that. JW with 48 months and a VIP plus 4 years, he says, your badge is now switched to just the joystick. Looking back over the time we've shared, and I must say it's incredible. Cheers to another 4 years, my man. 4 years of continued growth and prosperity. Let's have a great stream. And that is a member count bump to 31. That still leaves room for a 20 bomb Agents of Chaos. We'll see if anybody takes the bait. Thank you, JW. I wonder how much you'll be able to interact with the in-game social media in GTA 6. I'm more interested in what new ideas or mechanics GTA 6 will bring at this point. I could see GTA Online implementing a lot of that. Like, you can make money as a content creator and have your videos go viral within the game itself. I could see them do that. I could see them implement something like that. That is a potential, a potential reality there. They could make it to be like, if your vid goes viral within the game, and it could literally go viral within the game. Like maybe other people interacting with it is a genuine thing that happens. You know, I don't know, but that could be something. I mean, they do seem to be putting that front and center. In the game, is that there are videos and people are, getting likes and upvotes. So we'll see if they make that a part of it. And a VIP renewal from Super Gaming says, really enjoying Avowed so far. Yeah, the consensus on Avowed from the people in our Discord, they seem to really, really like it. And it seems to be doing well on Steam. I don't know if the score has gone up. No, it's gone down a teeny bit. I think it hit like 82 or 83%, and now it's at an 81%. Seems like it's just going to settle on that 81%. It does have, 1,900 votes, 1,900 reviews. That's not bad. For early access, that's not bad at all. Chase with 28 months and a member plus. Mafia: The Old Country and GTA 6 in the same year. Pretty good. Yeah, I would say, and that takes us to 33 members already today. We've only been streaming for like 40 minutes. That's almost a member a minute. You guys are crushing it. Creators dunked on the game. I did not like it. I saw somebody saying that it was like better than God of War Ragnarok in like every way. And I'm like, I don't know why you would compare those two games. That's kind of weird. And if you compare the bear fights, I mean, I really don't think you want to do that. So yeah, I've not seen anything in it that really sparks my interest. I think, the performance issues alone and the clunkiness alone is just enough to make me stay away. But plenty of people are having a great time. If you were waiting for it, if you were looking for that kind of game, it seems to be really delivering, what people wanted. So you just watch some videos, watch some gameplay streams, make an educated decision, because there's a lot of people that are enjoying it. If I can have a toxic parasocial relationship with the gaming executives in GTA 6 to boost my social media metrics, it's a day one for me. Yeah, start a podcast, Satya. And a 5-bomb comes in from JW, and he gets us to 38 members. That member count just continues to hum. We're now at 38 members with only 45 minutes on the clock. JW's like, come on, let's get a member a minute. That's the way to do it. One of the last comment as part of one before it. What are you saying, Corey? Let's take a little peek here. Creators dunked on the game. Oh, I wonder if GTA will suffer from the same letdown of Borderlands 3. Some of the reasons Borderlands 3 was disliked is because it was dunked on social media content creator culture, and unsurprisingly, content creators dunked on the game. Here's what's interesting about Borderlands. No, I didn't watch any of the network tests. Here's what's interesting about Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 was seemingly created for streamers, and then they all decided that they didn't like it. So I don't know what to tell you. They basically would only stream the game if they were paid money. Who's doing a podcast? Yeah, we're talking about doing a podcast inside of GTA 6, like basically go viral and develop a parasocial relationship with a gaming C-suite employee, and then start a podcast. They'll send you emails and Twitter DMs with all the marketing talking points to make the brand look good. It's easy. It's easy money, easy money out here for people. The streamer bad storyline, yeah, it wasn't even that. Like Borderlands 3 Endgame was built for streamers, and then they all turned their nose up to it. That wasn't the first time that happened. That little group did the same thing with Digital Extremes and Warframe. They basically got a bunch of money to consult with Digital Extremes on Warframe. They got a bunch of drops and inflated viewership for Warframe's directory. And then Warframe plummeted back down where it was again on Twitch because it wasn't organic. And those guys took the money and run. They took the money and they ran. And then they got a bunch of money consulting on Borderlands, and they were all included in like the premiere event. They were all included. They got to play the game like a week early. They all got sponsored to play the game. And as soon as Gearbox stopped writing checks, they all stopped playing the game. I mean, it was like clockwork. So they basically would only, they were basically shuffling from game to game to game and accepting checks for either input and or sponsored segments. And the minute they weren't getting those checks, they didn't care about the game anymore. So it wasn't the greatest edition, but the gunplay was great. Yeah, the game felt quite a bit better. It did. I'm finishing up God of War Ragnarok. It's got a few flaws. If you play to collect everything, if you play it straight through, it's almost perfect. Yeah, I had no complaints. And a 20 bomb from MASH. The first 20 bomb of the week. He gets us all the way to 58. I now owe you guys 10 members. Welcome in, MASH. Thank you, sir. Your continued generosity on this community is practically unmatched. We'll see if anybody decides to try to go toe-to-toe with you today and match you. We've had a couple of people, gunning for that top gifted spot that MASH takes almost every single day. Borderlands 3 was like, just speed through the campaign, it's meaningless. That's what everybody kept telling me anytime I criticized the campaign of the first playthrough. Guys, if you're enjoying the content and you see all these members getting gifted, help us celebrate by smashing the like button. Double check that YouTube is saving your like count. Let's go for 300 likes. And we are talking about GTA 6. We are. This time was not a rumor. This was not a theory. This came directly from the VP of Corsair Gaming saying that GTA 6 coming to PC early 2026 is his understanding, which I had already predicted that it was going to come to PC faster. And Stone Spire with 22 months says, on a VIP, 24 hours from now, I'll be neck deep in Avowed. So excited. 2 months for my red badge. Love this community and this channel. Keep up the great work. Thank you for 22 months, Stone Spire. And he bumps the line to 59. Insider Gaming reporting that the Days Gone remaster upgrade is not applicable to PS Plus owners. That's not a new revelation. Did they speak to it, Talica? Why do people expect to be able to do that? How is this an expectation? Now people are telling me that they did this in the past, which I wonder if that was a bank error in your favor, like that they let you get like a remaster for $10 and you didn't buy the game, you had it on PS Plus. I genuinely wonder if that was a bank error in your favor. Like, is that how that was supposed to function in the past? Did they specifically say that, yeah, we want people who never bought The Last of Us Part 2 or Horizon Zero Dawn to be able to upgrade for $10? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Horizon Zero Dawn got it. They gave the game away for over a year and intentionally let people upgrade. Somebody ran the numbers and said that was a bad idea, is what it sounds like to me. There was an executive somewhere that said, why did we do that? That would be my guess. It would also be my guess that Horizon's a more healthier IP, and maybe they are trying to fund this sequel. Maybe they're saying, listen, we're trying to sell this thing. We're not trying to give it away to people. Because consider this, Eugene. The commercial success of Days Gone at launch was not that great, and then seemingly way more people downloaded it over PS Plus, and they crunched the numbers and said, we stand to make more money if we sell this, Is this going to cost them? Highly doubt it. You always talk about how bumping a video game's price to $70 is worth it if X number of people buy it. Imagine the difference between a bunch of people buying it for 10 and a bunch of people buying it for 50. Like, there's going to be a ton of people buying it for 50. Who's buying a $50 remaster when they have it already? I don't know, the 20 to 25 million PlayStation 5 owners that didn't have a PlayStation 4 that are, like, probably not thinking about the fact that they own Days Gone because they don't. You'd have to ask the question, was the number of people that bought a PS5 that didn't have a PS4, did they immediately jump onto PS Plus? Did they immediately download Days Gone? We have it already. You think the consumer knows that? You think the 20 to 25 million new consumers to PlayStation 5 know and think in the way that you do? Think about John Q. Public. Think about John Q. Public Gamer. Does he know that he, quote-unquote, owns Days Gone? Which he doesn't, by the way. He owns nothing. It can be removed at any moment. It can be removed at any moment. You own nothing when you play it on a subscription service. Using the word own is saying we have it already almost indicates ownership. You don't own it. You know what I mean? I'm here to tell you, I think they ran the numbers and they said, we're going to make more money. There's no reason to give this away to people. And to be quite honest, I think that's how they should have done it with Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't think you playing a game through a subservice entitles you to the remaster upgrade. I don't think it entitles you to anything. You know what it entitles you to? It entitles you to the PS4 version of the game. Go play that. Those people that already have it, though, through Plus aren't buying it. Yeah, again, think of the number of people it takes to buy it at 50 versus the people buying it at 10, and just, the answer, Eugene. We've had this conversation before about raising the price to $70. You're like, they only need X number of people to buy it for the increase in 10. Well, we're talking about a $40 difference in price. A $40 difference. That means for every person that buys it at 50, you can lose 3 people. You can lose 3 people. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to lose money on this at all. Horizon Zero Dawn was a gift for the pandemic. Horizon Zero Dawn was given to people for free, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't think it's applicable. I don't think it's applicable. You're entitled to nothing because you buy a subscription service. 29 months from Bumble Pants bumps the member line to 60. Removing the loading screen and the frame drops from Big Hordes and Days Gone Remastered is going to be worth buying. Fabulous game. Thank you for 29 months of membership. Like, I just don't think people are entitled to, you're not entitled to a thing. If you sign up for a subscription and you get a bucket of games and somebody decides one of the games in the bucket they're going to do like a remaster of, you aren't entitled to that at all. You haven't purchased the game. You have purchased a subscription service that allows you to play a ridiculous amount of games. The number of games you can play on Game Pass or PS Plus is absurd. To think that you are then therefore entitled to anything they do with any of those games, well, I should be able to buy the $10 upgrade. Why? Why? They're going to lose money. They would make more. How could you possibly argue that? So you think the 20 plus million people who bought a PS5 who didn't have a PS4, you think they're all going to cross their arms and go, grump, 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 I'm not buying that. They should have gave it to me for $10. Again, if 3 people say that and 1 person buys it, they made more money. They're making $40 more on every person who converts. So if 3 people say no, that's a loss of 30 and a gain of 10. It's not on the subservice. It was a giveaway. What do you mean it was not on the subservice? It was a giveaway. The headline is Days Gone Remastered Upgrade not applicable for PS Plus owners. What are you saying? You're making it worse if they were given the game for free as some kind of a kind gesture. It was on PS Plus. When it hit PS Plus, everybody said, wow, this game's so great. I can't believe that this game didn't get a sequel. Days Gone was given on PS Plus. It was a monthly game. I don't understand. So what's the difference between a monthly game and a game that can be removed from PS Plus? How are those different? Days Gone was part of the PS Plus collection that you got when you purchased a PS5. Okay. Again, why does that entitle you to an upgrade? I don't get why anybody would think that entitles them to anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. The monthly games are actually given to you. So those can never go away. So those are what you're telling me is those are different. It was my understanding that any of those games could vanish. They could just take them off of the service and you couldn't get them any longer. He's talking about Horizon Zero Dawn because I got that one for free. Thrifty says it doesn't. I always find it strange when people mention about the size of Xbox YouTube channels. They all got a leg up with Microsoft. Every one of them were members of the Xbox Ambassador program. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be strutting around bragging about viewership and channel size because everybody has their time in the sun and it can come around and leave. Like I don't know why anybody would get boastful about their channel size or their viewership. I hold all of this very loosely in my hands. You know what I'm saying? Pride goes before a fall. I would never act like, well, I hit 50K subscribers. I'm a big such and such now. It's like, no, I've always said, like, in the grand scheme of the gaming world, I'm nothing. Like, you know, if bigger channels want to make content about me, I think that says something. That's not the same as bragging about your channel size. Monthly games usually cannot be upgraded, says AOZ. A monthly free game is not part of the upgrade program or whatever you want to call it. If you lose your PS Plus, you lose access to them, but they will always be there waiting for you to resubscribe. I'm being told that this is something entirely different, that they gave people Horizon Zero Dawn, that they gave people, Days Gone. And so it's yours, it's in your library, and you can just literally cancel PS Plus, and the game would still be there. Now, Corey's saying you lose Days Gone if you don't subscribe to PS Plus. Creature saying they did not give it away. As I said, it was my understanding that if you canceled that subscription service, you lose those games. And I'm being told that's not the same, that these are free games and they're just yours. They're just yours. Like, you just get to keep them, even if you cancel. That I've never understood PS Plus or Game Pass to function in that way. Days Gone was a PS Plus collection game. $5 super chat from True SSJ Havoc says, Lono, there are two different things we're talking about here. Remember the group of games that got taken away not too long ago? The basic no game catalog. Think of that like a bundled game then. If you got a game in the bundle, you should be able to pay to upgrade it. Now, that to me is different because you would actually have the game in your possession with a code. That seems to be different, does it not? Like, if you do a bundle, the game is in the box, and you open it up and pull the code out and install it. I would imagine that would be different than what we're talking about. I think people are misremembering the Plus collection. You get them, but you still need to stay subbed. Horizon Zero Dawn was given as a gift for the pandemic regardless of whether you had PS Plus. This was separate from the PS5 collection. So it sounds like we're dealing with a false equivalency here. That Horizon Zero Dawn was given as a gift, so they literally own the game. They theoretically own the game. They don't have to have PS Plus. Horizon Zero Dawn is there in their library as theirs, which is why they could spend the money for the upgrade. Days Gone, it sounds like, is in a different bucket and was a part of the PlayStation Plus collection, which means if you cancel PlayStation Plus, it goes away, which means you don't own it, which means, logically, you can't buy the upgrade. It's not yours. This is basic. This is very simple to me. This is arithmetic. You don't own it. It's not yours. You didn't buy it. You don't own any of the games in that collection. You don't own any of the games in that catalog. Cancel your subscription and see what happens. Do it. Cancel it. It's very bad optics and doesn't reward loyalty. I don't think Oh, okay. Perfect response, Eugene. Who says a remaster is for the loyalists? I just argued in a video over the weekend that this isn't for you. These remasters, you are not the target audience. The target audience is the brand new PlayStation 5 guy who doesn't have a library. You just stepped into a bear trap. Like, you're like, well, that doesn't reward loyalty. They're not targeting the loyalists. That's the whole problem with the discussion around remasters and remakes. The hyper-vigilant, the hyper-loyal are always like, why? Why another remaster? It's not for you. You've played everything since PlayStation 1. They're not making these for you. They're making them for the 20 plus million people who thought, I'm jumping into PlayStation 5. They got some hot stuff going on over there. And they see Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. They see Last of Us 2 Remaster. They see Days Gone Remaster. And they're like, great, I'm going to get PlayStation 5 level performance out of games and I can build my library faster. They're not for you. They're not there to reward loyalty. They're there to be sold. They can still sell them at 50. Both can happen. No, because the millions of people that could opt in to buy it for the 10, that's revenue lost. Yoshida himself said this. Yoshida said, you have to be okay. He's speaking to the loyalists. He's speaking to the people that are always there on the front burner. And he's like, you have to be okay with these companies doing remasters and remakes because it helps fund new games. Now, what Yoshida's not saying is you have to buy them. It helps fund new games. He's like, you have to be okay with that being part of the cadence. There's going to be times where they make something that's not for you. They're going to make something that isn't, you're not the target audience. Giving the upgrade to loyalists doesn't stop the full price newbies. Yes, it does, because there's probably plenty of people who bought a PlayStation 5, Eugene, and signed up for the base level PS Plus for the internet access, and then they would go to buy it and only pay $10. That's revenue lost. The function of Days Gone Remastered is to make money, not to make you feel good about being on PS Plus. The function of Days Gone Remastered is to generate profit. That's what it's there for. It's there to make money. And they're not going to make money by telling a giant funnel of people, yeah, you only have to give us $10. No, they want people buying it at the 50. That's what they want. You don't just sign up and get Days Gone. What do you mean? So what level do I have to sign up to have Days Gone included? Is it now no longer included when somebody signs up brand new? I'm one of the 20 million. I didn't have a PS4, and I'm buying this game, says Sneaky Wolf. And he makes confetti with his super chat. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to reset that. I will gift a member. Every five super chats I gift a member. I currently owe you guys 10. I'm holding off. I am going to bump this by 1. There it is. And I'm going to gift the single that I owe right now. I'm holding off. If we get to 100 members, I owe a 20 bomb. I'm going to hold off and do the 20 bomb. Crow Quill with 9 months of members, and it's a member plus. Member pluses and VIP. That moves the needle. And guys, make sure you're smashing like. We're really close to 300 likes. If you're tuning in for the GTA 6 news, the VP of Corsair Gaming said that GTA 6, as far as he understands it, is coming out in fall of 2025 and then coming to PC early 2026, with lines up with my own prediction and interpretation of what Strauss Zelnick said about PC in a recent earnings call. They seem to want to bring GTA 6 to PC faster. It would be stupid if you would have it for free. They get the remaster, so not owning the game would exclude you from playing. The remaster $10 wouldn't include the full game. Talika says it's included in PS Plus. Yeah, right now it's included in PS Plus, Eugene. You sign up for PS Plus as a brand new consumer of PlayStation 5 and you just get Days Gone. And they're saying, yes, enjoy Days Gone. But if you want the remaster, you don't own the game. You don't own it. Why would they let you upgrade it for 10? What? Listen, track with me here. They would have to go into the back end, and logistically what they would be doing, you would be purchasing the remaster for $10 because then you would own it. That's not what they're doing. They're basically letting you upgrade something you already own for 10. They'd have to go back in and completely code that transaction because you don't own Days Gone on PS Plus. You don't own it. As soon as you cancel PS Plus, it goes away. That's the whole point. They'd have to basically do all of that to lose money. I don't know. What's good, Feed? I see you in the chat. Luke Vaders with 8 months of members says, people are now complaining that it's going to be expensive to be a PS gamer because now we buy our regular PlayStation games, but also good Xbox games. I mean, you don't have to, nobody's compelling you to buy everything. You can wait, form yourself a little backlog and wish list and buy the games that get the best scores. Thank you, Luke Vaders, for the PS Plus renewal. That bumps the line to 63 members. Same as Game Pass. Right. I will admit, Xbox handles this in the way that you seemingly would prefer, right? I went and paid for the premium upgrade edition of Avowed, and I only had to pay the difference. I now own the premium edition of Avowed, and I got it for like $23 or whatever the price was. That is, I think, a value to Game Pass. That's a great Game Pass Ultimate value that I got to reap the benefits of. And PlayStation is saying, we don't do it that way. Take it or leave it. That's their attitude. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, but I'm here to tell you the function of the Days Gone remaster is not for you, the consumer who's like, I'm loyal, I'm on PS Plus, I should be able to buy that for 10. No, you didn't buy the game. You are owed nothing. No, Lono, you own that game as long as you keep Game Pass? Wait, so if I cancel Game Pass, I would no longer be able to play Avowed, even though I paid for the premium edition upgrade? So right now, I don't own Avowed? It's an upgrade. I did it for Starfield and realized that myself. Oh. Well, that's my ignorance. Correct, you need the base game. So I bought a specific SKU called Upgrade. That only applies if I own it and I don't own it. So if I cancel Game Pass, the base game disappears from my library and I can no longer play Avowed. Interesting. You thought you bought the game for $23? I thought that was part of the value of Game Pass, was that you could decide to upgrade, and that was basically like getting a discount. I honestly thought that's how they did it. I guess that would be really backwards, wouldn't it? It means you could sign up for Game Pass Ultimate for $20, pay the $23, and essentially get the game's Ultimate Edition for $43 and then cancel Game Pass. Right. With the way they let people game the system with the dollar upgrades and stuff, I just assumed that's how they did it. I just assumed that's what they were doing. They like hoping that nobody would do that, but I guess you're right. That would be a pretty significant loss for them. The way they lose money on Game Pass, I just kind of assume that's how it was set up. I gave Game Pass the benefit of the doubt. I honestly did. I thought I thought they handled it in a way that was more frugal for the consumer versus PlayStation. Eugene says, there are 4 groups of people: gamers with Days Gone, people who bought it, people who claimed it when it was a free monthly game, people who can play it through PS Plus now, people who have never bought it and claimed it. Why are people who have never bought it and claimed it not the same as people who claimed it when it was free? I'm talking about the people in category 2. Letting them upgrade for 10 does not change selling it to the other group of people in category 2. I don't know. And you're an intelligent person, Eugene. I think I'm pretty decently intelligent. I can't tell the difference between the people that you're talking about, so you're just going to cause mass confusion. No. This group can claim it, but you can't. No. These guys can claim it for the 10, but you can't. That's going to be confusing. It's easier to just say you can only claim the $10 upgrade if you own the game, if you bought it. That's far easier. You talk about rewarding loyalty. You're rewarding the people who actually bought Days Gone, not people who claimed it for free. Like, I don't care about those people. They're in a bucket that doesn't get thrown into this equation. They're trying to make money. They're trying to make money. They don't care about the people that claimed it for free. I can't even keep the categories straight, and you just outline them in my Discord, Eugene. I'm like, I don't know. What's the difference between them? What's the difference? If you claim it through Essential or the PS Collection, you own the game? No, you don't. People just clarified that a little bit ago. If you cancel, you lose those games. Getting a game, this to me is so basic. Getting a game through a subscription service entitles you to nothing. It entitles you to nothing. You get access. That's all you get. But the people in Group 2 is massive, and the only reason that game turned around was because of the people in Group 2. So I 100% understand his point. Yeah, the important word in that sentence, Creature, is massive. If there's a gigantic group of people who played it when they moved it to that subscription tier or whatever it is that they did, they want those people to buy it. PlayStation Plus and the PlayStation Plus collection were completely different things. Oh, the PlayStation collection was something that PlayStation took away in 2023. It's not the same as PS Plus. So he's not talking about PS Plus. He's talking about something different. You don't own any of the PlayStation Collection games or the PlayStation Plus games. How is it confusing to allow upgrades for the instant game collection that was discontinued years ago? PS Plus Extra is not the same. New people wouldn't be eligible, only early PS5 adopters. Maybe, Chris, that's Eugene's point. The early PS5 adopters that are in that bucket, he feels like their loyalty should be rewarded. And I'm like, I just don't care, and neither does PlayStation. They don't care. They didn't make this for loyalists. They made this for the new people, the new customers. Yeah, I have it on very good authority that Bend has not made a ton of money off the Days Gone property, and they basically need all the money they can get, right? This feels like so much more than that. This to me feels like a situation where they're like, all right, look, we will give you guys a second chance here, but you got to generate revenue. You ain't generating revenue when you let a big chunk of people give you $10 instead of a big chunk of people and everybody basically giving you 50. Listen, the original people who bought Days Gone at retail that can secure the $10 upgrade, that's the smallest group in the bucket. This is Ben's chance to say, hey, look at this thing. Look at the money that it made. That's grounds for a sequel. You start letting this group or that group or some people here only do the 10, all you're doing is shrinking the potential revenue that they're getting. When do I think GTA 6 is coming out? I think the GTA 6 release date is late October. I know Kotaku is, Kotaku. But I thought their prediction was on point. It lines up with other things that I have said. Borderlands 4 is coming out late September. Corsair's VP of Gaming just said on an earnings call that it's his understanding that GTA 6 is coming fall of 2025 and then early 2026 to PC. They must be doing pretty good if that's his understanding. And a single gifted member comes in from Mr. Grimm and bumps the member count to 64. If you guys have never been here before, this is what we do. Passionate debates and disagreements, even with some of my most loyal members. If you've been enjoying the show, hit the like button. I'm being told that they're doing the remaster because they barely broke even on the release and they wasted time on the live service game that was canceled. This is to replenish cash, avoid layoff, and jumpstart a new project. I've got two different little whispers in the winds now telling me this is important that this project generates money. That's why they're doing it. I can't believe Lono banned Eugene for disagreeing with him. Listen. At one level, Eugene's correct. The optics here is being put out there as a negative. The headlines are going to be viewed as a negative. John Q. Public doesn't read Insider Gaming. He doesn't check gaming Twitter. John Q. Public is going to see this game and buy it for 50 and hopefully in large enough quantities to help Bend make their next game or make a Days Gone sequel. And a single gift that comes in from Alfonso and gets us to 65 members. Thank you so much, Alfonso. You're the man. At one level, you're not wrong. People are going to see this as a negative, treat it as a negative, and complain. They are going to do that. But I think PlayStation and Bend are willing to take that on the chin because there's so many more people that could go out and will go out and buy this for $50. And a single gifted comes in from Anita. No, too obvious. Sorry, you're making it too obvious. You've got it. You can't use profile pictures like that. It's a dead giveaway. I'm not commonly getting gifted members from, Instagram girls and e-girls. You're making it too obvious now. Thank you for the gifted member, but you ain't getting me with that one. People are going to complain, but track with me here, Zubair says. F them. 3 different SKUs. I only claimed it on PlayStation Plus. If you want to upgrade, you had to have purchased it, says Evidence. You're also overplaying the joke. I mean, I don't care. If they want to overplay the joke and bless somebody with a membership, that doesn't bother me. I literally looked at that and thought he will say it. No. You got to wake up a little bit earlier in the morning than that. Guys, double check the like count. It's doing that funky thing. I know a lot of you are lurking. I know a lot of you get tired of hearing this. YouTube's been very strange lately. I've had to double, triple ask. Make sure YouTube's not being squirrely with your like count. A lot of people lately have been like, it didn't save my like. Fuzzy left a comment on my Saros video and said, so what's the song going to be? Clearly they can't use Fear the Reaper. Ooh, I hope they do another song thing like that. Oh, I love that in Returnal. I loved that so much. I hope they do it again. I really, really do. And that Saros video is off to a decent start. Guys, make sure if you haven't already, go watch my Saros redefining the sequel video. Leave a like and a comment. You might get featured in this live stream. This man has watched The Simpsons. That's right. If only new players are buying the game, then you only get half the picture. The number of upgrades also shows you if people have true interest in a sequel. New players plus upgraders equals a true interest for a sequel. Chris Coleman, I think that's a well-made point, but I also think that kind of adds to what I was saying. Right? they need to know that the market is responding positively to the brand, and that gets muddy if you let a bunch of people that didn't pay for it upgrade it for $10. I think that muddies your results. Of course they're going to do it. They didn't pay anything. They're getting a $50 remaster for $10. Protagonist of Saros is Alana Pierce. Peace, her lover. I don't know why you're referring to him as her lover. I think they're dating. Rahul, yeah. He's a handsome man. I loved him in Midnight Mass. He was so good in that. He's very understated in that show. He really is. He's very understated, but I think he does an excellent job. But the remake has been on production long before the cancellation. I'm not sure what you're talking about. No sequel market, says Eugene. So you think, Eugene, in the early days of the PS5, you think that's enough people to not buy it that they don't get a sequel? There's so many more people on PlayStation 5 now that'll potentially buy this. Like, if you're trying to play the math game, you can't look at the surge of PlayStation 5 sales and the boost that they've gotten and their stats about how many people are new to their ecosystem, and you want to cite the early gen spot where, oh, these people, they're not going to buy it. I got news for you. You would need every single one of those people to agree with you. You would. I don't think there's going to be enough of them. And even if they all 100% agree with you, I think there's way more people in the funnel of PlayStation users that'll potentially buy this. I don't think this is going to prevent it from getting a sequel. If they don't do a sequel, it might not even be related to this. This could just be to fund whatever their next project is. Ben could quite literally be saying, listen, we're still not doing a sequel, but this is a great way to fund our next project, and after the live service cancellation, we need the money. It could quite literally be that simple. If 4 million of the new 25 million people buy it, I think they'll call it a win. Yeah, I mean, commercially, it doesn't need to go top of the charts. It just needs to do well. At $50, the work that went into this, if a game needs a remaster to break even, doesn't that make it a bad game for a sequel? I think the difference here, Zubair, is when it hit PS Plus all those years later, all of a sudden, the dialogue around the game changed. Like, if you go to the Days Gone PlayStation Store right now, if you go Days Gone PlayStation Store, okay, and then you go to Days Gone Steam, all right? So let's just do this. Let's just look at the game's reception, and let's just compare it to how it did when the game first came out. It has a 92% on Steam. And you know as well as I do, that's a pretty good score. 69,000 reviews. Nice. It has a 92% on Steam. It has a 4.63 on PlayStation. That's a 92. Now go look at the Metacritic, right? Days Gone Metacritic. So you go to the Days Gone Metacritic, and from the press, it got a 71. We're talking about a 20 point difference between the critical reception and the reception it now has in the public. It aged like a fine wine. Like, they fixed a lot of the problems. It did well, especially as a port on PC. It was a very solid port on PC. It ran very well. It has a 20-point difference. That says something to the C-suite. It's got to. It's like, look at the way that people responded to this thing. A $5 super chat tip from Joker Quinn. I've been a hardcore PlayStation guy since I was a kid, but I've never played Days Gone, and I'm buying the remaster so I can experience it at its best. Thank you for the $5 super chat tip. I'm not speaking to the quality of the game at all. I'm talking about we are going to make a sequel corporate checklist. I think somebody somewhere said, let's give this thing one last shot. It won't take us that long to remaster it. We already did. They probably already did a lot of this legwork when they ported it to PC. They probably already learned a lot of the places where they could refine certain elements of the game. It doesn't even look that different. It doesn't even look that different. Can we be honest about that? The Days Gone remaster doesn't even look that different. It probably didn't take them that long at all to do it. This is probably the, all right, fine. All right, fine. We'll give you one last shot here. No, Sony didn't turn down the sequel. No, it was higher ups at Ben. It's Chill Will with a $5 super chat says, you don't own games on subsurfaces. Buy them if you enjoy them to have them in your library if you choose to unsubscribe. Days Gone was just on sale for $5. Yeah, I mean, I'd buy it right now on sale if I was any of y'all. I'm just going to buy it renew when it comes out. This message will be, there's millions who had it from the giveaway that won't buy it for $50. There's millions who had it for free back then that will. There's millions back then who had no idea that they got it for free. And then there's millions right now. Listen, Eugene, every single consumer that jumped into PS5 after that point stands in a larger bucket. There is a larger bucket of potential consumers, and that's why they did this. They wanted to make it crystal clear. They didn't want any confusion at all. If it does better than 2 million, I'd be shocked. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with your argumentation. That doesn't support your argumentation. There weren't enough people back then. We're at 75 million PlayStation 5s shipped. And when this thing finally lands in April, we'll likely be above 75 million sold. And you think that that group of people back then is what? Like a permanent shadow over this product, preventing it from doing well? That doesn't even make mathematical sense. You're way too educated to think what you're thinking. This feels more personal than anything. We're going to be past the 75 million mark, and you think that group of people back then will prevent this from doing well? Like what, are they going to run around and tell everybody else not to buy it? I just don't think so. If it doesn't do well commercially, there's probably a litany of reasons why, and I don't think that group is the group that held it hostage. That group is essential to determining a sequel. I completely disagree. I completely disagree. I think the people who played it later, who either purchased it on Steam or played it through PS Plus, not the collection, the people who played it later on PS Plus, when the dialogue really, really changed, those people matter. There were way more people because it made headlines. When did the guy say that? Days Gone by the effing game. When did he say that? He said that in 2021, right? Because all of a sudden, everybody was talking about the game. And he was like, if you like the game, buy it at effing full price. Yeah, I got that on sale. I got it through PS Plus, whatever. At the time of that dialogue, that's 1 year into the gen. That's not enough people back then. I thought he said that way later. He said that back in 2021. At the end of the calendar year in 2021, there was 13 million people on PlayStation 5? Come on, man. That's such a small group of people compared to the people that are in there now. There's way more. And all those people giving you $10 is nothing. It's nothing. It's not worth the confusion. PlayStation need to start releasing brand new games. That's becoming a problem now with all these remasters. They need to release brand new games like Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, and Lost Soul aside. What about Astrobot? That one also released within the last 6 months. What remasters are you talking about? What are you talking about? Lazy remaster? So they did a bunch of publishing efforts last year. They published Stellar Blade. They published Helldivers 2. They published Rise of the Ronin. What are you talking about? They brought a bunch of great games to the market last year. They didn't own all the studios, but it was still their money. It was still their publishing efforts. Those were all brand new games. They published way more games last year than remasters. You sound like you keep score on Twitter and only give credit when they own the studio. Nobody here cares about that, and neither does the general public. Neither does the general public. They're publishing Death Stranding 2, Lost Soul aside, and Ghost of Yotei. And then they got Days Gone Remaster coming. They also spent $400 million on Concord. Literal false lie. They didn't spend $400 million on Concord. Did you see their revenue reports for last year, completely repudiating that false claim that fan fiction Bleed Green podcasts continue to circulate? They did not spend $4 million on Concord. Firewalk Studios procured $200 million in funding before they even acquired by PlayStation, and after they were acquired by PlayStation, they secured another $200 million in funding. None of that $400 million came from PlayStation. That's a lie that's put out there by grifters and PlayStation haters and liars. It's not true. It isn't. That is factually incorrect. Clip it and call me Coping Pony. I don't care. I stick to the facts. You don't. That's not true. They would never have been able to post their revenue reports at the end of last year if they were literally down $400 million off of Concord. It would have been impossible. It would have been impossible. They would have been so in the red. It would have been unbelievable. I can see why people like Days Gone. It's just not for me. Oh, I'll give you all fair warning. I'll give you all fair warning. If you guys jump into Days Gone, be prepared. The first 2 to 4 hours is slow. It is a slow burn. Slow burn to open. Interesting. Phil changed his title in regards to his job at Microsoft to the head of Xbox to the head of Microsoft Gaming on Twitter. That's not a new development. He was appointed the head of Microsoft Gaming in like October of 2023. That's not new. I don't know why it took so long for him to update his Twitter. He's had that title for over a year now. I hope their lack of rewarding loyalty bites them. I hope they make buckets of cash and stop giving people... I hope they make buckets of cash and stop giving things to people who didn't spend money. I don't want an inkling of that on PlayStation. I don't. I don't want a single iota or inkling of give things to people who don't spend money. Nope. Nope. I want them to be shouted out. They need to be shouted at the same way he shouts at the end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You get nothing. Good day. You get nothing. Nothing. There's 75 million people, very soon to be 75 million people within the PlayStation 5 ecosystem. And the 2 to maybe 4 to 5 million people who like are even aware of this situation, you get nothing. Pay the piper or be quiet. That's the world we live in. And that's the world I want to live in because it leads to better margins and then it leads to reinvestment. I don't think handing anything to somebody for $10 is worth the optics. The average person that is even aware of the situation to the degree of nuance that you're aware, they are such a small group of people. Why are you so anti-consumer? PlayStation's a $1 billion company. I'm not anti-consumer. I'm not. No. I'm pro both parties involved. I am. You know what's pro-consumer? A company bringing a really good product to market so that when I buy it, I'm not just confident that I'm going to get something good. I get something good. That's pro-consumer. You know what's not pro-consumer? Convincing people to do a subscription service where a very, very good portion of the games that they get are not ready when they come to market. They're glitchy, they're buggy, they're incomplete. And you keep them on that sub-service with the promise of more games, and then those games eventually fix themselves. That, to me, is anti-consumer because the value transmission is, in my mind, it's very corrupt. You're not actually getting a tangible value transmission. You're getting some smoke and mirrors trick where you think you're getting a lot of value, but you're not. Like, I think that's anti-consumer. I think anti-consumer is bringing things to market before they're ready and charging full price for them. Redfall, Forza Motorsport, Stalker 2. I think that's anti-consumer. Game Pass is incredible. The value is fantastic. The value is fantastic. But I also think they consistently bring games to market that aren't ready and sell them for full price. That's anti-consumer. Do you know what's anti-consumer? Is porting games to PC before they're ready, like they did with The Last of Us Part 1 and Spider-Man 2. Asking people to spend money for something that has value is not anti-consumer. It isn't. I want Bend to make a ton of money, and then I want Bend to get reinvestment and refunded for a new project. Why? That benefits me. That benefits me. A lot of you guys think you're on some war against anti-consumer practices, and you are probably the single greatest movement of anti-consumer practices in the history of gaming. You're actually on the side of the aisle that is the most anti-consumer. But because you get things on the cheap, you think you're pro-consumer. Spider-Man 2 wasn't even ready for day one PS5. It was a glitchy mess. No, it wasn't. Most of the glitches shown online. You made your account 7 days ago. Are you that hungry for a clip? Is it really that hard to make rent right now? You need that Twitter Blue revenue and YouTube revenue? Good golly. As the young bloods say on Twitter all the time, dude, go get a real job. Don't lump me in with them. I'm not lumping you in with them, Eugene, but what I'm saying is I don't want one iota. I don't want a single inch of that mentality to come to PlayStation or Nintendo. I don't want somebody saying, hey, you gave me something for free 4 years ago. Yeah, we did. Oh, that entitles me to buy this upgrade for $10. Why? What are you talking about? You're entitled to nothing. We gave you something for free. It was a gift. It was a gesture. It's not even a thing that we're doing anymore. I think people think that Sony has more money than they do. Have you ever looked at how much debt Sony has? I'm way behind catching up, but the 3 games or so they give every month are yours forever, even if you cancel. The ones on the PS Plus catalog, you have to stay sub for. Pac-Man on a Bike, I've gotten so much conflicting information on this subject this morning. People said they stopped doing that. Somebody in chat just said, you're gay. Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to somebody in chat? Are you trying to get a date? It's funny how we get less of the word Game Pass in the latest interviews with the hand puppets. Why will that be? I'm not sure. If you guys are tuning in for GTA 6, I know anytime GTA 6 is in the headlines, we get a ton of you piling in. You're like, why are they debating Days Gone Remaster? We talk about pretty much anything going on in the gaming news, and there was news about the GTA 6 release date because of Corsair's earnings call. So the VP of Corsair Gaming basically said it was his understanding that GTA 6 is coming in the fall of 2025, and then it's coming to PC early 2026, which lines up with my own predictions based off of what Strauss Zelnick said, like, how many days ago was that? 11 days ago. Zubair says, most consumers don't have principles, much less your strongly principled stances. I see it with GPU market constantly. We got the Instant Game Collection in 2020. Why would I buy the game full price? I got for free and already played. I won't buy the remaster. I'll just play the PS4 version again if I feel nostalgic. No, if you cancel PS Plus, all the games in the service get locked. That's what I'm saying. What are these mythical games that I'm being given for free every month that are mine for forever? What are you talking about? Tell me right now, for the month of February, what games have I been given for free that are mine for forever, regardless of if I keep PS Plus? What are the games? What are they? The monthly games are yours to keep, but in order to use them, you have to be subscribed to PS Plus. Unlike PS Plus catalog games, the monthly games stay part of your library, but you cannot play them unless you resubscribe. That paragraph hurts. How are they mine to keep, but I have to subscribe to play them? What? What are you saying? They're mine to keep, but I have to subscribe to play them? Well, then what? That's like saying that they're locked and they're mine. Yeah, you can do that anytime you want. Well, give me the key. No, you got to pay me for the key, but they're mine. What are you talking about? It requires the basic tier. It doesn't require having access to the game catalog. As long as you're paying for internet, they're yours. I'm gonna have an aneurysm? You don't own them! They're not yours! You need the subscription to play them! Where am I right now? Is this the Twilight Zone? It's not yours! You don't own it! It's not your game! What is happening? I'm losing it. I'm losing my grip. I'm crashing out, chat. I'm crashing out. We never claimed ownership? Then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? They give it to you. It's yours. No, it's not. You don't have anything. You have nothing. You've nothing. It's an icon on a screen that if you want to play, you got to subscribe. It's not yours. Oh my lands. It isn't yours. It's not yours. Champagne with 3 months. Don't let them find out that we pay for cloud saves too. And a single gifted from Peachy Creamy takes us to 68 members on the day. Thank you so much. Wired Rope says, I own everything on Netflix. You guys never use the word own. You were like super careful not to use the word own. But come on. You don't have it. You don't have anything. For people that have invested thousands, optics and loyalty, but are you going to use the same logic for Game Pass with how we constantly talk about Game Pass here? People that have been playing for Game Pass all these years, they're not investing in anything. You're subscribed to something. I'm not invested in Netflix. I'm not invested in HBO Max right now. I'm not invested. I'm subscribed. Why? Because I get stuff. And when I stop subscribing, I stop getting stuff. There's no loyalty there. It's a subscription. The people that have been on Xbox since 2020, and they've been on Game Pass since 2020, are they owed anything? They've been investing? No. They own nothing. They have nothing. You can't say Xbox players don't own their Game Pass games and then claim anyone owns these PS games. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about a specific thing and its relation to another thing. If the HZD upgrade didn't happen, I wouldn't have said anything. All right. No, that's fine. Woo. Heck says, I get you, homie. You're not alone. That's what I'm saying, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Crash out, Lono needs an emote. Well, were you here last week, Lobo? And I was like, I'm not crashing out, I'm cashing out. They thought I was crashing out on the Xbox stuff. I was like, are you kidding me? This has been great for my viewership and my pocketbook. Imagine predicting every move that Xbox makes for the last 2 years and having an almost perfect batting average. Yeah, I'm crashing out. I'm really crashing out, boys. I'm not having an identity crisis. You know, I'm not having to suddenly toe the line of the marketing talking points of a billion-dollar corporation. You want to talk about crashing out? Imagine crashing out with your soul and not even having the shred of self-respect. And I'd be like, well, I don't like what you're doing, brand. Who's crashing out? It's free, and I own it forever as long as I pay for the subscription. Oh, my golly. Oh, my golly. They gave Horizon Zero Dawn to everyone, PS Plus or not. They let everyone upgrade despite their status as a user, but Days Gone, they won't let some of their most loyal and dedicated get the upgrade. I hear all that, and I see all that, and I say, they're just completely different situations. Horizon is like a Leviathan IP for them, and they could afford to do that kind gesture. Do you think that's true for Days Gone? You think Days Gone is in a spot where they can just like let people that didn't pay for the game upgrade for $10? The game didn't do commercially well when it came out. The executives shot down a sequel, and then it got given to everybody, you know, as part of the 2021 initiative. And I was like, this game's amazing. Why does it have such a bad score? And then the guy from the company was like, if you like the game, pay for it. Buy it at full price. He's like, that doesn't do anything for us. And you want to go to that group of people that he was like, if you like the game, pay for it. And you want to go to that group of people and be like, yeah, you can upgrade for $10. They're not in the same category. This has been a very fun discussion. I like getting wound up. I like getting animated. It's enjoyable. But I'm here to tell you, these are very different circumstances. They're different properties. They're in a different financial situation. Good golly. Gorilla is they're properly named. They're a monster right now. Their property has done so well. It's getting like a TV show or a movie. It's getting an MMO. It's getting a multiplayer game. They're doing a third game. You know? You can't look at Bend and be like, how dare you? It's like they're not in the same scenario. Nice shirt, thank you. I would have upgraded for 10 and now I won't. That's fine. Plenty of people will buy it for 50 and they'll happily take that over your 10. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We've talked about this before, Eugene, with the optics on the $70 price bump, and you were one of the front burner people to be like, they make so much money off the 70, it's worth losing some sales because of the 10, you know? And that's a smaller jump, by the way. Going from 60 to 70, that's a smaller jump. This is a huge jump. You're talking about people being like, well, I would have spent the 10, but I don't want to spend the 50. And then all the people willing to spend 50, that's a $40 difference. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money when you add it all up, when you count all them beans. They've damaged my willingness to support the brand in general now. Oh, come on. Come on, Eugene. That is... yes. This is going to be a new segment. We're going to call it Melodramatic Mondays. Get the frick out of here. Yote's going to land, and Death Stranding 2's going to land, and all will be well with the world again. Come on, brother. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? This is it. This is it. This is them. Where are you going? You going to go to Nintendo? You want to go to PC? Come on. I know what you play, and I know what you like. I'm not talking the Sony brand. Wait, whose decision do you think this was? Oh, you mean Bend. Oh. Okay, I mean, okay, that's fine. You know, he's stoking the fires. No. Eugene knows I love him. He knows I love him. This has been fun. He is a very principled man, you know, and I respect it. He's principled. The number of people in the bucket that this applies to who are equal in principle to him, I mean, I love you, brother, but there ain't nobody. There ain't nobody in that bucket. There's nobody in that bucket who got Days Gone back then who is as principled as you. You wear that badge with pride, but you're the captain and the only member of that club. There's no, I guarantee you, in the grand scheme of things, ain't nobody feels as strongly about it. Well, screw them, man. They come out with a good enough trailer and everybody forgets everything. Eugene is still mad about the Red Ring of Death. Listen, if you end up on his list, it's written in stone, man. It's there. It ain't no whiteout used on that stone tablet. You are stuck there. Holy mackerel. Whew. The red ring was no joke. It was irritating. I mean, I thankfully dodged the bullet, but yeah. Guys, if you're enjoying the conversation, if you're enjoying the show, there was a lot of things that happened over the weekend. The Phil Spencer interview, if you guys want to talk about that. GTA 6 stuff did break. I mean, it did. We Corsair's VP might have let the cat out of the bag about the GTA 6 release date. Apparently, we can talk about this. Apparently, PlayStation is leaning towards doing a showcase this summer, according to Jeff Grubb. And also, according to Sneaker SO, notable insider, PlayStation has shifted in its strategy with live service, which might be evidenced by all the games they canceled and Fairgames getting delayed. So there's a lot going on. Do you think Trevor will be in GTA 6? I have no idea. I think the GTA 6 trailer 2, I think the marketing for GTA 6 kicks up in May. That's what I think. I think that's the current plan. That's the current plan. And we're getting obviously a lot of search off of GTA 6 today. I love you guys for stopping by every day we cover it. I really, truly do. Guys, make sure you check out that Saros video that we did this morning. That one was a good one. And we very much enjoyed the support of the uploads that you guys continue to do. The Days Gone one is getting a bit of a bump today, thanks to y'all going over there and leaving comments. So do the same thing with the Saros redefining the sequel video that went live this morning. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. If you leave a comment, you might get featured in this video. A showcase, and we can all complain it wasn't good enough. Did you guys see that allegedly the State of Play set like a viewership record? It was so bad, according to Twitter and according to YouTube. Golly, these people are speedrunning their irrelevancy. It was so bad. The State of Play was so awful that it broke viewership records. Oh my gosh. The like ratio is 70,000 to 21,000. So it definitely got brigaded. People really did. They tried to brigade it down, and it still has a good like ratio. It's hanging on. 70 to 21. I'll take that. On a hotly contested and debated State of Play, that's not too bad. It's so awful that it broke records for State of Plays. Yeah. Sony dead, boys. Yeah, they posted their revenue reports like the very next day. Viewership doesn't mean it was good. You're right. Like sales don't mean they're having success, right? Are you one of those? Sales don't matter? How many times did you type that in the last 5 years? You made your account 6 days ago? No, you're done. I don't want you to get another membership. Somebody already wasted their money on you. You frickin' bottom feeders are so pathetic. I'd rather play a great remaster or remake than a bad game like Forspoken or Concord. Hey, Forspoken wasn't that bad. I think Forspoken has aged a little bit better, with time. Sales are no indicator of how much money people have exchanged for the game. Yeah. Is one of those. Sales don't matter. Okay. The Acolyte had some of the highest viewership on Disney Plus last year, but that doesn't mean the show was good. You understand that is not even remotely what we're talking about. Like, the actual viewership during the State of Play and the viewership after is an indication of interest because there are trailers. That's not the same as a show that's getting ridiculed and memed on and millions of views for guys like Critical Drinker and others. That's not the same. Critical reception and consumer reception after Acolyte indicated where people landed on it. This is a completely different category. People didn't tune in live to the State of Play to watch the slow motion car crash. Right? Like, they tuned in because they were interested and they wanted to see it. Like, think about it like this. PlayStation's sales report the day after that this State of Play happened, that's why so many people were watching, because they're kind of crushing it and they have tons of people that want to know what's coming out. Like, they they don't care about all the things that are debated on Twitter and YouTube. They don't. Profit margin for Sony's last place. So let me guess, you're comparing Microsoft corporate to Sony. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're right. Office 365 and cloud and Azure services and all that money that's generated for them. Hopefully that's making your gaming experience better over there. I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, we don't know what Xbox's profit margin is because they don't tell us. So I guess brag about Microsoft corporate. Yeah. Go start a podcast bragging about, Amazon and Google too. That's just real. Xbox division not counting Microsoft as a corporation. So do you know Xbox's profit margins? Nobody seems to know it. You're not bragging about anything. Oh, there it is. There it is. So let me get this straight. Let's just really track with what you're attempting to say. PlayStation doing well, reports good results for their sales, good results for their console, their latest state of play, tons of viewership, but their profit margin isn't as good as you think it should be. Okay. Yeah. The other day, when I was playing Astrobot, you know what I was thinking about? It was really hard to enjoy the game because I was really thinking that their profit margin should be higher. And last year when I was playing Stellar Blade, I was like, I just think the operating budget at PlayStation makes it really hard to enjoy this combat. It's tough. Picks in Discord. Monthly games accessible for duration of PS Plus only. Yeah, that's what I mean, Pac-Man. That's what I was debating. You have to be sub to play the games. Thanks for the 5 spot. I Am Desire. I Am Desire says, this show's incredible. So much integrity and accuracy in reporting. I'm going to give you more money today because of how much I like this channel. Thank you, I Am Desire. I appreciate it. That's very, very kind of you. Nintendo has the biggest profit margin by quite a lot, even though they make less overall. Why do you care about that? Console sales get talked a lot. That's why I mentioned the profit margin. Okay, sure. Why do you care about that, though? You don't? Well, you're paying attention to it. So you're paying attention to it and actively bring it up in a YouTube chat, but you don't care about it. You're allotting an awful lot of mental space to something that you allegedly don't care about. I don't understand. I don't. Just part of the conversation about console sales. It's not part of the conversation about console sales because in the context of the conversation about console sales, we were talking about those who say sales don't matter and they act like PlayStation's doing poorly. And then we point out that they're actually doing well, and you're like, yes, but profit margin. Okay, profit margin can be an indication of how well a company's doing, but then when you start comparing different companies, you could be doing very well as a company, and another company could have better profit margins than you, and you would argue that then every company that makes more money than you on their profit margin is doing better? Like, well, what's the point of that comparison? Sales matter, I agree, and a huge part of that is profit margin. Yes, but again, you're making a false comparison because the way the Nintendo Switch sold from 2017 to now, they make a profit on every device sold. So that makes it a comparison that's difficult to say, well, they're making more margin. Well, their device is completely different. The price point's different. The target audience is completely different. So sure, a lot of the people that added to the profit margin of Nintendo are PlayStation and Xbox owners or PC owners. So what's the point? Like, invoking Nintendo's profit margin, what does it have to do with the conversation about the constant narrative that PlayStation's doing poorly? Are you trying to claim that the profit margin of Nintendo is an evidence of PlayStation's poor performance? Like, you see what I'm saying? Invoking Nintendo's profit margin, are you arguing that that is evidence of PlayStation not doing well? Because if you're not, then you're not making a point. Hello Lima with 20 months and a member plus. Bumps the member count to 69. Nice. Where did this guy get his degree in BS? Con University? Are you talking about me? I'm asking him a question. Like, if you're going to invoke the profit margin of another company as evidence that this company over here is doing poorly, I don't think those things are connected logically. Like, you wouldn't argue that, like, Amazon is doing better than this company and just cite the profit margin. It's like, well, what in the world? Like, that this company could be doing great in their respective market and in their respective efforts. 7%. You're not answering my question. This is a very basic question. Do you believe that Nintendo's profit margin is evidence that PlayStation's doing poorly? What do you think invoking Nintendo's profit margin achieves? You need to answer that question. Because if not, you're just throwing out random numbers. Like, I could throw out the profit margin of any tech company. It doesn't mean that tech company A is doing poorly. No? Then I do not understand your point then. If you're trying to supply evidence that PlayStation's doing poorly, I don't think you have done that. That was the context of me invoking the sales figures, that they're clearly doing great. They just hit an MAU record, 129 million people. Like, that to me says that what they're doing is working very well for them. For a guy that doesn't care, 7% sure comes up a lot. I didn't say they were doing poorly. They're doing great, I agree. Well, then I'm at a loss for what it is you were trying to contribute to the conversation. I'm officially confused. Excuse me. Mike Beckett says, excellent format, content, and adult gaming conversation so needed in the industry we all love. Thank you, Mike. You're curious what's going on in April after what Tom Warren said? I wanted to mention that Sony is in last place when it comes to actual profit. What do you mean last place? Who are you comparing Sony against by saying that they're in last place? I am Desire 2 with a $2 super chat says, man, this channel is one of the best out there. Thank you so much. I watch every day. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Xbox Games Division and Nintendo, what you're saying is a lie. You don't know Xbox Game Division profit margins, so you're lying. Nobody knows Xbox's profit margin as a gaming division. Nobody. And given their operating costs last year, you think that that's true? And a 5-bomb comes in from Mike Beckett and gets us to 74. We're one member away from me owing you guys 15 members. If you think Xbox Gaming Division's operating costs last year put them in second place for profit margin, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They keep all that pretty quiet. They keep all that hidden from the public and the shareholders for some reason. If they're in second place, you think they'd be out there strutting it, don't you? Don't you think they'd be strutting that stat to the shareholders? As far as gaming companies go, platforms, publishers, etc., look at our profit margins as a gaming division. And yet, for whatever reason, They're not out here strutting their stuff. You seem to think that they're in second place based on no evidence. If they're not bragging about it, it's for a reason. That's right. If your profit margins are impressive, you don't keep that a secret. Reports online, false. Are you just going to keep lying? Do you hear the words I'm saying? Are you reading what chat's saying? There are no reports online indicating Xbox's profit margins as a gaming division. They're not anywhere. This has been an ongoing frustration for people that would like to report on Game Pass numbers, growth, margins. We don't know. We don't know anything. Perhaps, LOL. You've done an excellent job in the act of doing nothing. I mean, that was impressive. It was like an episode of Seinfeld. That's nothing happened. That we just had an argument about nothing. Dear Lord. You non-cheerleader cheerleaders, man, you guys really struggle with basic facts. Lona over here talking with authority like a guy that spends 60 hours a week focusing on gaming news. According to its earnings release, Microsoft's gaming revenue grew in 43% year over year and reached $5.2 million in the first quarter. Activision Blizzard contributed to an entire 43% of the growth. Yeah, that's revenue. That's not profit. I found you through other YouTubers. They don't like you. I want to know what you're like. Well, stick around. Ask questions, contribute to the conversation, smash the like button. You guys could get us to 400 likes very easily. Excuse me. They're going to make that 100 billion back in like 75 years, says Jesse. They're speed running. They're speed running that ROI. Simple Google search. Okay, do it. Do it. If it's a simple Google search, I trust that you're intelligent enough to do it. I also trust that you're intelligent enough to copy and paste. So go do your simple Google search and paste the results. What is the profit margin for the Xbox gaming division in the previous fiscal quarter or fiscal period or fiscal year? It should be you said it's a simple Google search. We trust that you're able to do it. I already have, and that's why I mentioned it. What is the profit margin for the Xbox gaming division? What is it? How much did they make in the previous fiscal report? What did they make? What's the number? If you posted a link, it didn't come through. You have to post like the text, like copy and paste the text. Google AI says, based on the current market data, PlayStation generally generates more profit than Xbox. You don't have to take my word for it. No, you're right. I don't have to take your word for it, right? But this isn't reading Rainbow. You don't get to say that and then tell me to go do the research. If you're going to claim that Xbox is in second place, then provide the data. Do you understand what the term burden of proof is? The burden of proof is on you. You made the claim. The burden is not on me to go and substantiate your claim. That's asinine. Ford Motor Company sold 1 billion trucks just today. They did it. You can go check it. You can go research it. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. But you can just make any claim you want. 69% is my last offer. Death Knight became a member and bumped the member count to 75. Guys, if you do a brand new membership, you want to pick Member Plus. Death Knight, it's $1 to upgrade. If you like what you see, next month you can bump it up and you get into more content. The $5 tier is for gifteds. I wish I could disable it for paying members. Cool. All right. You have to take my word for it, nor do I have to take yours. No, you see, the difference is, thank you, Super Gaming, for the Agent of Chaos gifted membership to 76. See, the difference here is, you don't have to take my word for it because it's not my word. You don't seem to understand how authoritative claims work. I'm not telling you my word. I'm communicating to you facts. Right? So if I tell you the wall over there is white, that's just a fact. I'm just relaying factual information to you. It's not my word. You understand that, right? So, in the realm of profit margin, we do not know the profit margin for the Xbox gaming division. That is a fact. It's a fact. I'm not telling you my opinion. That's not my word against yours. That is a verifiable, provable fact. Do you want to know why it's a fact and why it's objective? Because if you try to falsify it, you cannot falsify it. You would have to go and get evidence to the contrary to falsify it. There is no evidence. There are no reports. We cannot go to an earnings call and see the profit margins for the Xbox gaming division. Ergo, what I'm saying is not my word. It is a factual statement. That's the end of the discussion. This isn't agree to disagree. This is you being unable to substantiate a claim. They're very different things. You just need to find one example of Microsoft reporting this information and you win the argument. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. There it is. I'm going to count you. I'm going to let you double dip, Death Knight. I'm going to let you double dip. That counts as 2. That gets us to 78. Thank you so much for upgrading to Member Plus. We got a huge goal that we're working on right now. We're trying to get 600 people to Member Plus and above, and you just helped us with that. Does the current gaming community enjoy gaming anymore? Why is every debate about the aspect of these companies? Dragon's Carnage. I said this recently. It's really remarkable to me the development of gaming dialogue for the last while. Like, let's just take Astrobot as an example. A super charming game. You know, wins a ton of awards, sells well, and people try to make it sound like it failed. Can you dig it with a $2 super chat tip? Says, I love it here. Here's some money to support what you do. Thank you. And so, basically, that game should have been celebrated almost like universally, right? Like, here's an example. Indiana Jones wasn't for me, but I celebrated the fact that it did well and that people were enjoying it and that the game was quality and that it ran well and that it looked very good. I celebrated that. Even though it wasn't for me. I was in the Discord all weekend celebrating with the community members who were enjoying Avowed, even though I find the game to be incredibly boring and I don't like it. I celebrate the fact that people are having a good time. I'm not like out here attacking Avowed, calling it trash, and the way people attacked Astrobot. So you would think that, yes, you would come away from a 46-minute state of play and 30-some announcements and be like, this is all awesome, but what do we see? You know what? I celebrate one element of this. One. For a second, I got frustrated that all of the gaming outlets were running with Xbox is going to publish more games on PlayStation than PlayStation. Herder, and it suddenly hit me. Keep going. Run. Just as fast as you can. Speed run your irrelevancy. Because if you look at the gaming trends, if you look at the sales reports, if you look at where gamers are landing, these people, these outlets, these alleged journalists that are going to run with the anti-Sony nonsense and parrot the Microsoft talking points, just keep going. You're making it easier on the rest of us. I'll gladly take your patrons. I'll gladly take your readers and your viewers, because all you're doing is speedrunning your irrelevancy. At first, I was a little annoyed, and then I thought, you know what? You're making this easy. All I've got to do is stick to the facts. All I got to do is talk about things in a positive way when I see positive things. And you can run with your negative headlines and your rage bait and your spin and your herder. Xbox going to publish more games on PlayStation this year than PlayStation. Enjoy losing more readers. Do it. You're making it easy. It's never been easier to get people to listen to you over the others. It's never been easier. It's pedestrian. It's easy. It's simple. It's middle-aged. It's middle-aged. It's middle school. It's like, this is easy. You're making this easy. A ton of people are switching to PlayStation. So go ahead. Keep taking your swings. Keep acting like they're not doing a good job. Keep posturing as if their state of play sucked and was boring and wasn't exciting. I'll just gobble up all the gamers that want to talk about the games and be excited about them. I'll gladly take them. I'll take them off your hands. It's not easy. I'm sorry, it's not hard. I'll gladly take them off your hands. You're just telling people to stop listening to you. I can't imagine being a gamer and reading these articles, seeing these headlines and videos. It's like you got to the end of that state of play, and that's what you thought? Gaming sucks. PlayStation sucks. Okay. Jack Garland with a VIP, sending this from the past as I'm stuck listening to an hour back. The song in Soros is going to be Never Gonna Give You Up. 79 members. Wait, I think I missed another one. Give me 1 second to scroll back up here. Oh, no. We're at 79. Yeah, we're at 79. When's the showcase of PlayStation? Okay, the current rumor creeper from an insider is that PlayStation's considering doing a showcase in the summer instead of a state of play, and they're leaning towards showcase. It'll be like end of May probably. Ultra Lord with a 29-month VIP. Sounds to me like PS5 is the console where both console games are, pretty much. Here's the thing. Here's what's funny. They think they're getting a jab in, and all they're really doing is telling everybody to just buy a PlayStation. Track with me. You just told the public with like a little smirk and a sneer, like, yeah, looks like Xbox is going to publish more games on PlayStation than PlayStation. And the general public's like, oh, I guess I'll buy a PlayStation then. Okay. How many PlayStation games are they publishing on Xbox? Oh yeah. That was an easy decision. Thanks. Yeah. 60-something million people still on a PS4. A lot of people still on Xbox. That's a real easy decision. Thanks. I mean, just keep kicking the ball in your own net. And you're going to turn around. And turn around 3 and 4 years, and you're going to wonder where it all went. You're going to wonder where it all went. Where'd all your readers, your listeners, your followers, where'd they all go? Well, when they get tired of the clown show and they get tired of the lies, the headlines that just flat out lie, they'll move on. They'll go listen to somebody else. They'll go watch somebody else. They'll go read somebody else. Eventually, it'll dry up. I mean, it already is. That's why they do the headlines that they do. It's just a death rattle. It's a death rattle. It's like, well, we're dying, so this will at least get us some clicks this week to keep things going. When do I think GTA 6 is going to release? I think GTA 6 release date's late October. Yeah. If you look at the cadence of games from them, Civ 7 already came out. WWE's around the corner. NBA is probably slated for early September. I don't know if they've announced it yet or not. Mafia the Old Country is in the summer, and then Borderlands is late September. I think they got everything out of the way, and then late October is when it lands. Because by then, they're done. Their year is over. They've pushed everything out. I don't think they're worried about like stepping on Borderlands' toes a month later. Like the October 28th date that Kotaku threw out, I'm like, that's a pretty good guess, honestly. That's 35 days later after Borderlands has been out. If that's not enough time for Borderlands to do its job, then... Subair says, slightly random, but I told ChatGPT I suck at Black Myth Wukong and I needed progression of 5 games that will teach me the skills to play Black Myth Wukong well. It gave me this progression: Fallen Order, Salt and Sanctuary, Mortal Share, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, Sekiro. That is actually eerily accurate. I would have started with Fallen Order as well. I don't know if I would have jumped to Salt and Sanctuary because that's a side-scroller. I don't know how much that's going to serve you in Black Myth. But going from Fallen Order, I actually would skip all the stuff in the middle and just go from Fallen Order to Sekiro. Actually, I would do it a little bit differently. I play Fallen Order at normal. If you feel like you get your chops in Fallen Order at normal, I would up the difficulty of Fallen Order to like the second hardest. So go second hardest on Fallen Order, and then go to Sekiro, and then... The difficulty, again, with going from Sekiro to Black Myth, though, is Black Myth is a dodging game and Sekiro is a parry game. I don't know. It's really, really tough to find a good analog or, like, a good shift, even going from Fallen Order on Master or, or Sekiro, and then going to Black Myth. The struggle with Black Myth is... It's not a parry game. It's a different vibe. It's a different combat flow because of the way the dodging functions. Sekiro is way harder than Black Myth. Black Myth I found it to be more of a frustration than difficult because of the performance. It was really, really hard for me to get into a flow state because I felt like the game was just hitching like crazy. If I can't get consistent performance out of the game, I'm going to struggle to get into a flow state. I appreciate that, Sneaky. Thank you. I feel like the media outlets are much, much more negative towards Xbox than PlayStation. I own both and enjoy both. I enjoy positivity towards games, not fanboyism. Okay, Dragon's Carnage, can you point me to an outlet that you feel like has been consistently negative to Xbox? What outlet are you referring to? I'm genuinely curious. Who has been consistently negative towards Xbox as an outlet, like as a gaming outlet? Like Sony drops a 46-minute state of play, and people are like, yeah, they're gonna have a relatively quiet year. Oh, really? I didn't realize that Ghost of Yotei, Death Stranding 2, and Lost Soul Aside was a quiet year. That's okay. That's a quiet year, I guess. My apologies to chat for trying to take Xbox aside. You don't have to apologize. I'm curious. I'm taking an interest in your position. What outlet do you feel was doing that? Can you display a pattern with somebody that you felt like they kept bashing Xbox? Like, what outlet are you talking about? No one's attacking you. We're merely asking for evidence of your position. I can make it very clear, like if I'm like, IGN is a dishonest tabloid, I can substantiate that. They're liars. Like, they publish false headlines with lies in them. There you go. There's your evidence. When did they do that? They misquoted an earnings call last year, literally changed words and then put them in quotations. That's a lie. They just had a headline claiming that Xbox and PS5 sales were plummeting. That's a lie. That's not true. Like, it's easy to substantiate. I'm like, yeah, there you go. They lie about PlayStation regularly. They lied about this secret exclusivity deal with Black Myth Wukong. They posted as if it was true. It's not hard. So what outlets do you feel do that to Xbox? They just consistently run negative headlines. I can give you one. I anticipated you saying one. I assumed you were going to say gamingindustry.biz or gameindustry.biz. They've definitely run some negative Xbox pieces, but they were always based off of things that they had heard or things that had happened. They were based off of quotes, facts, commentary from developers at the GDC. They weren't just like whipping something up out of thin air. GameIndustry.biz has run negative Xbox stuff. Now, I don't feel like they unfairly wail on Xbox. You haven't brought up Fable? What should I bring up Fable for? In what regard? Outside of GameIndustry.biz, I don't feel like any of the major outlets have ever run very negative anything about Xbox. People claim Xbox tax, but it's like, where? Like, the irony of the Xbox tax thing, it just kills me. It absolutely kills me. That, like, if you look at two really good examples, Starfield and Forza Motorsport got so much padded treatment from the gaming press. The score of Forza Motorsport on Metacritic and the score of Starfield on Metacritic is a joke. It's a joke. Go look at the user scores for both of those games. What Xbox tax? What are you talking about? They've gotten very favorable treatment in many times when they don't deserve it. Avowed's the same way? No. Currently, Avowed's Metacritic and OpenCritic is very, very much in line with the current user scores. Now, those are your early access folks. So I don't know if you're dealing with people that played for a little bit and got a refund on Steam. That happened with Starfield. Starfield's score looked really good on Steam when it was just the early access folks, and then it fell like a rock. So we'll revisit Avowed this weekend, but for now, Avowed's user score is in line with the Metacritic and the OpenCritic. That's agreeance. I would say that's a strong testimony that the game is striking a chord with some people. Death Knight doesn't just become a member, he gifts a member. We are now a 20 bomb away from the first 100 of the week, and then it'll be an Agent of Chaos. I'll owe you a 20 bomb. I want to tag team with somebody. Somebody drop the 20, and I'll drop mine right after. Xbox tax. The term Xbox tax started circulating when people felt like anytime something negative came out about Xbox, it was being blown out of proportion because Xbox pays a tax, like Xbox tax. Like, games don't score as well because they're Xbox. Oh my gosh, the opposite has happened. Like, the literal opposite has happened. Xbox games have received scores that are so undeserving this gen. It's like that. It's the opposite of a tax. They get a freaking subsidy from the press. Multiple times, a very clear and measurable subsidy of like, yeah, we're going to inflate your score. I know I'm 30 minutes behind, but listening to this conversation of ownership versus subscription, I will say the ones who got shafted are the people who bought physical copies. That is true, James. That is true. The people who bought physical copies of Days Gone are the actual consumers that are getting the raw deal. Is not the people who got it for free and can't upgrade for $10. It's the people who bought the physical edition. I agree with that. You know what I mean? It's a shame because you could put the disc in, prove ownership, and buy it for 10, but then you could circulate the disc. They're not shafted. They can upgrade. How do the physical people upgrade? I thought I read that they couldn't. I thought people with a physical disc couldn't upgrade. How do you upgrade? Couldn't you circulate the disc amongst your friends? Wait, physical owners can upgrade? I must have been given bad info. I read that you couldn't. Ben spoke to this. They can upgrade the day the remaster comes out? How? They own it? But couldn't you just pass around the disc and have all your friends do that? You updated HZD from the physical. I was given bad info. I thought that the physical people could not. That's crazy. Couldn't you go right now and buy a used copy of it to get the best deal? Another reason this will fail, there's no physical. They may do a physical if the digital does well enough. They have to put the disc in at the drive of the PS5 every time. Oh, they're going to need the disc to play the remaster. Got it. Okay. Okay. Will they need that even if they turn it into an offline PlayStation? I guess it's different because it's not a digital. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, now that makes sense. That makes sense. I was thinking you would be literally upgrading to like the digital remaster version and you wouldn't need the disc anymore. Okay, so you need the disc. So anybody who's wanting to get this on the cheap should go try to get a used version of the disc, and then you can upgrade for $10 at launch and then just keep the disc. You don't really need the disc. You're going to be playing the PS5 version. You're not going to be like playing. The disc would need to be there for like the license verification, but you would then have the Days Gone remastered. If you're trying to get it as cheap as possible, like does GameStop have them listed? Can you go buy it? You just go find a local one, right? Yeah, you can buy a pre-owned version of Days Gone for $30. So you could basically get the remaster for $40 if you're trying to not buy it for the $50. Yeah. If you're trying to save $10, you could do that. You could find a local GameStop and buy it, you know. Or you could probably find it for cheaper than $30 if you could go on like an eBay or like a Facebook Market or something. You might be able to find it for cheaper than that. GameStop already raised the price. They know. They know what people are going to do. They're not dumb. They're like, we weren't born yesterday. Lono, stop reading my thoughts. Sorry. Yo, could we get 17 more likes on the video? You guys have crushed it. 400 likes today. There was a lot to discuss. There's a lot going on. You guys did a great job supporting the Saros video this morning. A lot of you have circled back and supported the Days Gone remaster video. Thank you so much for doing that. You know, the overwhelming support. I am going to have a video this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern about how Borderlands 4 is evolving. So be sure to check that out when that hits as well. Jor Raptor has had hands-on with Crimson Desert. Did he play it on PC or console? Does he say in his video? My biggest concern with Crimson Desert is... my biggest issue with Crimson Desert is is it going to look that good and run that well on console? I just don't know. Ooh. What is this? What is this? Tweet? History lesson. You got Zero Dawn as part of the Play at Home initiative, not PS Plus. You own the game if you cancel PS Plus. Thus, it had the $10 upgrade. You claim Days Gone on PS Plus. You do not own the game. You lose access. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. All right, what do you guys want to do? We're 2.5 hours in. It's almost 1 o'clock. Lately, I've been letting you guys extend. And if you would like to extend today, we'll need to hit the 100 mark. Let's hit the 100 mark. Keep the show going. And you can use the question command to submit questions. Let me see if anybody's done that this morning. Yeah, Brett has submitted one. He's the first one today. And he said, out of my 45 PSN friends, 23 of them have pre-ordered the Days Gone remaster. Do you think this could be close to the ratio of the PS5 install base? Crazy numbers. You know what? I need to go pre-order it. Because I don't own the game. I need to just go pay the $50. Because... Can we discuss profit margins some more? Yeah, Seabass, let's do it. The fake ones that you think you can find with Google and you couldn't. You deserve that one. Anyway, yeah, I'm here to tell you, it's a smart play. I really do. I think the Days Gone remaster is a smart play. It's like, yeah. People liked it. It aged like a fine wine. $50. You got a lot of people that are trying to build their library. They're looking for games to play. You know, you got a lot of new PlayStation 5 users that are going to be like, oh, I heard about that game. Oh, that game looks cool. It's a very, how do you say, PlayStation-esque game, you know? Guys, 10 more likes. Keep smashing that like button. You guys are crushing it. It's a very PlayStation-esque game. Like, if you're looking for a PlayStation game, I mean, buddy, Days Gone is it. I saw several big-name streamers say that they didn't play it because it was broken at launch, so they stopped, and they all seem to be interested now. That's what I'm saying. There's something to be said. Something to be said for it. You know? We'll see. We'll see. A lot of people have poo-pooed remasters and remakes, but you have to understand something. Companies like this don't initiate these types of efforts if they're not profitable. We defended Horizon Zero Dawn. We defended Last of Us Part 1 Remake and The Last of Us Part 2 Remaster. Number one, I defended them because I thought they looked great. Number two, it's like great for new users. That's a lot of value add for them. You know, people are like, duh, that's a cash grab. It's anti-consumer. I want new games. You're not considering all the consumers that it services. There's a lot of consumers that have received a lot of value out of these efforts because they're like, hey, I'm new to PlayStation. Thanks so much for doing this. I get to play these games at this level of quality. I feel like I missed out, right? It's funny enough, it's very like anti-FOMO to say, hey, you missed out on those games, and now we've supplied them to you at next-gen graphical fidelity. Like, The Last of Us Part 1 Remake is, man, oh man, it's gorgeous. That's just a good service to the consumer. I think a lot of the anti-consumer diatribes are, it's anti-me as a consumer. I don't like it. It's not for me. Therefore, it's anti-consumer. And it's like, there are consumers out there that are nothing like you, that are thrilled that they did this. I hate to break it to you, you know, but you're not the only consumer in the market. Not everything's made for you. Can't imagine TLU 2 looking any better. I missed out on it on the PS4, so I was thrilled to play the remaster. I really was. Like, I get people who played it PS4 Pro that were like, no, thank you, but man, that 60 FPS makes a difference, especially in the combat sequences and like the shooting and the moving. 60 FPS makes a big difference. Feels very fluid. It really does. You should just play it for a couple hours and you might say, ooh, he was right. I mean, it might be worth $10 for taking a spin on that merry-go-round. It's such a good game. Such a good game. Question here from Jordan says, since apparently larger channels are making content about you and your views on the industry, how can you possibly sleep at night knowing you're generating free advertising revenue for you? Yeah, it's not an apparently. It's not. It literally happens. Yeah, I mean, the more I've looked at that situation, it used to be pretty activating, you know, because you get attacked and it can activate a lot of like stress. It's like, oh my gosh, right? But when you see just how toothless the whole thing is, you know, a lot of bark, no bite. It's like, you know, the person in the position of power is the one that's not saying anything. Like when you, this is business negotiation 101, right? First the talk loses. I had a lot of managers teach me that method over the years, like, you know, in sales. Make the offer and then be quiet. Don't say anything. So the one who's not saying anything is in the position of power. It's like the famous saying, you know, me think you doth protest too much. It's like, if you're constantly talking about me, and I'm never talking about you, I don't feel like there's a power dynamic there. It's just one person seems desperate and the other like doesn't. I don't know. The more that time has gone on and the more I've done this, I just think the more and more pathetic and embarrassing it really looks. These are adults. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do think that there's a lot to be said when you're living like what I would consider to be a pretty healthy and fulfilling life outside of this space, if that makes sense. Like when all this shuts down, like I just go and like live a perfectly happy and normal life. I've got a family and community and friends and things that I do, and it's just like, I do think when you kind of get trapped in here and you're like always in here, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or whatever, you can't really see the forest for the trees. And when I can just kind of be like, oh yeah, I'm done for the day, and I just don't pay any attention to it and go live my life. I think that very much just deflates it. It's like it takes its power away. It's like, okay, well, they called you a this. Oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, I don't. Yeah, sure, you can say that. That's there's no comeback to. There's no real comeback to childish insults. There just isn't. What are you going to say? Like, as a mature adult, if you were walking around in public and somebody called you the things that I've been called, you'd be like, that guy's crazy. Like, you would just kind of move on with your day. You know? Imagine going to work every day and some guy outside is like, yeah, you corporate shill, you're working for the man. You'd be like, good to see you, Bob. Cool, man. And you would just go into work. Like, you wouldn't take it serious. You would see the insanity of it. You know, you'd see it for what it is. It might be a little disturbing. It might be a little disturbing if the guy follows you everywhere. You know, some of these guys are like stalking me every day, making multiple accounts, trying to come in, trying to get a reaction, like just psychopathic stalker level behavior. Like, that's a little disturbing. You're like, yo, why is this guy doing this? But like, I don't think you would feel the need to engage and like defend yourself against some lunatic hurling insults at you. So I've just gotten to the point where that's how I view it. I view it as very, very much like, it's very pathetic, very childlike behavior, you know. And a lot of it's just coming from a place of darkness. I think a lot of these people are not in a great place. So, wait, Tim Dog's Twitter account got nuked? Did he get hit, or is he like taking some time away? Are we sure that's his account? I DM'd him really recently, I thought, about the did he seriously sometimes people take a break and that's what it looks like. It looks like their account's gone. Yeah, I don't see him. He named himself Super Tim Dog. So did he change his @ I don't remember. He changes his @ a lot. I don't remember the last time. Oh, it got nuked while you were looking at his tweets. So did he get reported, or did he... Because sometimes people take a break and they basically hide their account and it looks like it got nuked, but it hasn't. So, I don't know. All right, here's what we're going to do. It's 1:03. It's 1:03. I'm going to give you guys until 1:30. Yeah, if you guys want to extend, we got to hit 100 members, and then we'll just keep going. So we're going to keep streaming right now. I'm going to keep taking questions. You guys can extend the stream. Really great way to do that is to celebrate your renewals. If you're at a Member Plus or VIP, you guys can help us out there, and you can gift. You can upgrade as well. Upgrading counts as 2. We're on a huge precipice of a big goal. If you've been supporting the channel for a long time or listening, a really great way to help us. We're trying to get to 600 Member Plus and above, and we are at 571. We're so close. Shiny red flag says, I'll add 1 to the total, and renews their membership. There it is. Thank you so much. Renewals, upgrades, gifteds, they all help. They all add up. Thank you to everybody who has continued to support the channel in that way. And Minchtree has submitted a question. Do you think a sequel to Days Gone is tied in some part with how well the remastered version does? I beat the game already, but I will pay the $10 to support. I will never tell somebody to support something like this out of some weird like allegiance or help the devs, but I will say it does. like me telling you that it helps them and will potentially green light the sequel, that's not me telling you that you should do it. It's not a call to action. It's not a call to action. It's simply a matter of fact. Like, yeah, if a bunch of us buy this thing, some of us, I'm going to be buying it at full price because I don't own the game. So I'm going to buy it for the 50. And funny enough, I'm one of the people that's been with PlayStation with PlayStation 5 since the beginning of this gen, and I could be complaining about not being able to upgrade for 10. I'm fine with it. I'm just, no. So, yeah. You're a lot more fun than MBG, I'll give you that. He would have kicked me off the chat for an hour ago. I typically only kick somebody for a handful of reasons. If they're disrespectful and insult me or the chat, or number two, if their account is like brand new and I can tell they're just clip hunting. Like, I don't want that person to get a gifted member. Now, you could be clip hunting. Your account is 14 years old, but you might come in with like 2-minute-old accounts, clip hunt with them, and then you don't want to take that risk with your main account. I'm never going to stop those guys from showing up and doing their thing. So if you're on your old account and you're here, you're contributing to the conversation, you're being respectful, I don't care if you get a gifted membership. So Tim definitely got nuked by the oh no click problem. What's that, FCAT? I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, Minch Tree, I think it's a matter of fact that, yes, the Days Gone remastered is likely attached to a potential sequel. If it crushes it, if it does well, then yeah, we'll probably see a sequel get a green light. So, Furious Impulse says, same for me, Lono's so much better when it comes to chat. Yeah, a lot of people that will go out there and they'll tell people that I ban people for disagreeing with me. That's quite literally not what I do. Like, if I banned people who disagreed with me, I wouldn't have a chat. Like, you know? Wait, why are you saying yep, FCAT? Who are you saying yep to? The oh no click problem? What are you referring to? Ugly Nerd says, other than Ghosts of Yote, what other games do you think will show up at the showcase? Wolverine, Santa Monica, Saros gameplay? Oh, what Hotshot said? Wait, so you're telling me that they're targeting people for like false reports or something? You're playing a risky game. You know what I mean? You're playing a risky game. Some of these guys, they targeting me for a hate raid and targeting people for reports and stuff. You're playing a risky game. That almost always comes back to bite the people that initiate. So, I don't know. If you want to get a gifted membership, you got to hang out enough to get one, and you may get one in the coming moments. And they're using the popcorn maker. I got my family a popcorn maker, and they're very excited about it. They were asking me to get it, and I was like, I basically made it like a family gift for Valentine's Day. I was like, all right, fine, I'll get you guys one. Yeah, you might get one. Right now, we could have a little bit of a scramble because I let people extend the stream because I have work I have to do in the afternoons, and we go to the green room and we kind of plan the next day's shows, and I record videos and stuff. But I usually say, hey, we'll extend the stream. I'll make the stream longer if we hit certain thresholds. So right now we need 18 more members, and I'll extend the stream. We've got 22 minutes to get 18 members. So let's see if we can do it. Tom says, what's your prediction for what's to be announced in April that's set to make the PlayStation players happy? Okay, so yeah, this question gets asked a lot, and Tom Warren said this on Blue Sky. He basically said that, PlayStation players, April's going to be a really good month for PlayStation players or whatever, PlayStation 5 players or gamers, something to that effect. And there's a handful of theories. Some people are theorizing that there's going to be a big push and like a bunch of Xbox games are going to come to PlayStation in April. And then there's other people that think they're going to like announce some things. I'm leaning toward a bunch of games coming. And here's what I mean. We know Forza's coming. And I think there's going to be a couple others. I think Hellblade 2 is very close at hand, according to Jez Corden from Windows Central. So Forza, Hellblade 2. I think there'll probably be 2 others. I think it's going to be like 4. There's rumors about Master Chief Collection, a Gears Collection, all this stuff. I'm going to kind of draw the line like this. Okay? I'm going to draw the line like this. If it's an older game getting ported, it could likely just kind of show up in April. They'll announce it. They'll push it out. They'll run some, they'll let people know that it's coming in a day or 2 or a couple days or whatever, and let people pre-order. Okay? If it's something new, like the Gears Collection, I don't think you announce that and drop that just out of nowhere. I feel like the Gears Collection is something that you would include in like an Xbox showcase, and I believe Phil Spencer is preparing people for the Xbox showcase when he says, yeah, PlayStation logos, Nintendo logos, Steam logos, they're going to show up in our showcases. And the reason I think he's saying that is because I think there'll be more significant, like when the Outer Worlds 2 showed up at the Game Awards and it had the PlayStation logo on there. That's not quite the same as an Xbox showcase showing you the long-awaited Gears Collection and having the PS5 logo at the end. So I think Phil is preparing people for that showcase in particular. I think that showcase is going to 100% include something significant with the PlayStation logo. Now, Master Chief Collection or Forza or Hellblade, okay? I don't think these games require like a showcase level announcement. I think they just like push out an advertisement, push out a trailer, and then they let people know. Oh, is this the popcorn? Okay, these are the first scoops. Let's see how good it is. Okay, yeah. It's safe for you. That's why I wanted to get it for you, kiddo. It's like, this is like the popcorn you get at like the fair, you know? It's great. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And I'm glad it's safe for you. Good day. So why is Phil in the thumbnail? Phil did an interview with Xbox Era. He did an interview with Xbox Era. What's his popcorn now? No, freaking popcorn. Okay, sorry. My daughter has an egg allergy, and they were at their swim lessons or whatever, and there was a popcorn machine there, and they were making popcorn. And because of the safety and allergens and cross-contamination and people touching things, she'll usually avoid instances like that. Even if the packaging says it's safe, she'll just avoid it because you just never know with cross-contact. You know, somebody could have been touching something, and right? And they really wanted it. My wife loves popcorn, and I do too. It's like the perfect snack, you know. And so they found one that they liked, and the ones and the popcorn kernels you can buy for it, and the flavoring and everything, it's all safe for my daughter. And so I saw it, and they were giving me grief because they wanted me to get them something for Valentine's Day. I was like, what am I going to get you? Like, my wife had already gotten them some stuff. So I ordered it for the fam, and it arrived today. It was supposed to arrive yesterday. Are you going to react to the interview on stream? No. I did a show open, Jacob, where I talked about what he said, and I gave my own thoughts. I mean, basically the two big takeaways, Jacob. He said that he doesn't want to move people to Xbox anymore. Like, that's not his goal. Just put games everywhere. Now, I find that to be contradictory because just a week ago he said he wants to win people to their hardware. He wants their future hardware to win. Well, that doesn't make any sense because now you're saying you don't want to win people to Xbox. So I always feel like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth, even more so now. Then people are like, oh, he's being transparent. I'm like, yeah, because there's no denying it now. Like, he can't do any more smoke and mirrors. Like, just 4 games. This isn't a signal that everything's coming. And now it's like, no, yeah, everything's coming. You know, there's going to be PlayStation logos and Nintendo logos in our showcase. That was the other big takeaway, is that future showcases are going to have PlayStation logos and Nintendo logos in the showcase. So, yeah. And if you guys are wanting to extend the stream, you got 15 minutes to do it. You guys always like to wait and do buzzer beaters. I know. But we need 18 more members. We need to hit 100. I will owe you 20 members when that happens. I still owe you guys some memberships right now. So if you guys push it to 100, I'll drop my 20 bomb. We'll keep going. And then members, consider members can submit questions like this and have it pop up. So use that question command now and fill that question queue. This is the last question in the queue, so you guys can jump to the front of the line. Perfect Image says, do you consider me a gamer? I had a PlayStation 2, played GTA, PS3 All of COD, then fell over, then GTA 5, PS4 Red Dead. What am I? If you play games, you're a gamer. I don't have a qualification for gamer other than that. DP Sage is going to move the line by 1, renewing that Member Plus. It's a great reason to become a Member Plus or a VIP. Every month that you update, you give us a little bit of a bump on the member count. So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate you, DP Sage. Everybody right now, click the $ button at the bottom of the chat. See if you have a renewal to celebrate. Did you get to the... This guy said he thought Returnal was too repetitive. Did you get to the other biomes? Returnal is not repetitive at all if you get to the other biomes. I've yet to actually purchase Returnal, Jamie says, but I did. And there's a VIP renewal from Fuzzy. Oh, hey, I guess it's that time again. And that bumps the line to 84. So you guys make it really, really easy with those renewals. Keep them going. Keep it going. Even single gifteds add up very quickly. Pay it forward to somebody. He says, I have yet to actually purchase Returnal, but I did give it a go when it was on the extra service. It's definitely one that I've got to pick up. I had a lot of fun with it. Didn't get very far. Sorrows does interest me as well, perhaps. What are you doing? Oh, thanks, kiddo, for later. I got a snack for later. I won't make myself sick. That's not enough popcorn for that. You gotta give it a second try. Returnal can be repetitive if you have a few bad runs. I mean, that's true. That's fair pushback, Pac-Man. Somebody asked me if I got any of the flooding because I am in Louisville, Kentucky. No, we didn't. We got lucky. My sub pump did his job. There wasn't a single wet spot in my basement. And then it all turned to snow, which it was the craziest snow I think I've ever seen. It was weird. It looked fake. I hope Soros will have difficulty levels. I worry it will be easier to be more accessible. I don't know. I trust Housemarque to not corrupt their format and make it too easy. So, Stonespire says, you said on Friday that Avowed was really close to being a game. Will you give it a second run in the future? I need it to run way better than it does, man. I'm serious. I can't play a game that's running like that. There are hitches, snags. The frame rate is all over the place in certain spots. Performance mode has a lot of shimmer in the distance. I cannot get into a flow with a game that's running like that. And I really, really don't like the combat. I just don't like it. If you could target in third person, I might be able to eat around some of the rough edges of the combat. But I don't like the first person. Third person feels awkward and clunky and there's no target. So you're constantly having to kind of like recenter on the enemy. I just don't like it. I don't know. Yeah, and there's just so much. There's so many games coming out. I'm trying to finish Final Fantasy 16 and then I want to play Ender Lilies and the Ender Lilies sequel. I'm in such like a Metroidvania vibe right now. And Nine Souls didn't really scratch the Metroidvania itch, and neither did Tales of Iron 1 and 2. They were like a little bit more on like Nine Souls was basically Sekiro as a 2D platformer, and it was ridiculously hard at the end. And Tales of Iron was like a low-level Souls game, 2D Souls game. It wasn't tough, but it was challenging. And I'm in the mood for Metroidvania. So, and there's a part of me that really wants to go back and grind some Returnal, and just enjoy that game. And the Tower of Sisyphus is just such a fun time. So, all right, you guys have 12 minutes. We're going to go to the green room in 12 minutes. If we don't extend, we need 16 more members to extend. And renewals and upgrades count. So thank you everybody who's already done that. Ugly Nerd says, other than Ghosts of Yote, what other games do you think will show up to the showcase? Wolverine, Santa Monica, Saros gameplay. Oh, I'm sorry. You asked this in the chat, and I don't think I gave you a complete answer. Banshee with 22 months and a member plus. Thank you so much. 85. Ooh, that's a really, really easy one to complete. We just need a couple of 5 bombs and we're there. We just need 3 people. Bring it home. Avowed. He said you can step off after the first zone. Not much more to keep going. What are they saying on Friends Per Second podcast? Anyway, to answer your question, Ugly Nerd, as far as what will show up at the showcase, I think next in line would be Saros did say they're showing gameplay later this year. Maybe that's what they were referring to. I also think Intergalactic makes sense. Wolverine, to me, lower likelihood. I think Wolverine would show up later in the year at like a State of Play or the Game Awards. Yeah, I don't think there's DLC. There's no DLC for Spider-Man 2, unless Insomniac was lying. If they opted to not do DLC and they opted to instead do a Venom game for like $40 or $50, I could see that Venom game being there as like a surprise. You know, that could be like a surprise game for the end of the year, like a holiday release or something. So like Venom would just be like a $40 or $50 game inside of the city. They already made him. They already made his moveset. Give him a straightforward, skill tree, and it could be a good time. Yeah. So Saros gameplay, likely. Maybe some intergalactic gameplay, but I feel like they're going to space things out. Listen, I don't think I'm ever going to make a prediction about a PlayStation State of Play or a PlayStation Showcase. I don't think my prediction will ever include, it'll be a bunch of first party. They've made it clear, even though they're increasing their first party cadence, they're still only showing up with like 1, maybe 2 first party things at an event. Right? They space it out. Ghost of Yote finally showed up. Nothing. Then Intergalactic shows up in an event. Then nothing. Then Saros shows up in an event. It's like they want... It's almost like they're using their first party as capstones to events. Spider-Man 2 at the one showcase. I mean, yes, you got a cinematic trailer for Concord, Marathon, and Fairgames. They were all cinematic. And then Spider-Man had this big gameplay showcase. And then Astrobot. And then at the latest State of Play, Saros at the very end. They seem to like to only have like one really big first party focus at an individual event. They don't seem to want to buckshot their content or their property. That's why I feel like a lot of the negative narratives on YouTube and Twitter are just so unfounded. It's like in September they released Astrobot and then it won Game of the Year. And then they announced Yote. And then Death Stranding 2. And then they announced Intergalactic. And then they gave us a release date and a ton of gameplay for Lost Soul Aside. And then they announced Saros. It's like, what? My clip on Twitter was like, what more do you want? I don't know what people want from them. Do you want them to just shove them all into one event instead? If they shove them all into one event, then guess what? The next couple events, you're not going to hear anything. Wouldn't you rather have like one thing show up at every time there's an event, whether it was the September State of Play or the Game Awards or the most recent State of Play? It's like they have something to announce or show you. I think that's better. It's like space it out. Like if they would have shoved everything into that September showcase, September State of Play last year, then what are they going to show you this time? Well, yeah, they showed us. If they would have come out with their September showcase, September State of Play, and then it's shown, obviously, you talk about Astrobot or whatever, but you announce Yote, you go Death Stranding 2, you give us Lost Soul Aside gameplay and a release date, you give us Intergalactic, and then you give us a Saros announcement trailer. What do you got left for the Game Awards and then the recent State of Play we watched? It is? Yeah. What's your opinion on premium editions coming out 5 or 3 days early before the base edition? I don't mind when Xbox does it because they offer you to play full games for $20 a month. I don't mind it when either company does it. I think it's fine. Wolverine's a perfect example of why roadmaps are not good for the modern state of gaming. They announce Wolverine, and now every showcase they don't show it, people will say they're disappointed because they didn't show it. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think there's a big latent danger when you announce things early, show things early, or you do some type of a roadmap. You set that expectation that, well, it's soon-ish, right? And it's like, no. Wolverine's trailer was quite literally a cinematic teaser, just like, hey, we're making Wolverine. Okay, cool. And then typically companies do that, and then they go quiet. You know? All right, guys, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The question queue, let me clear the question queue. All right, so if you submit a question now, you'll be at the very, very front of the line. You have 5 minutes to extend the stream. We need 15 members to extend. That's light work for this community. We'll see if you guys are going to hold. I swear you guys are all like, hold, and then you'll do it all at the buzzer. But, yeah, in 15 minutes, I'll let you guys extend. And then we'll switch the Q&A to more of a personal AMA. We kind of open it up to be non-gaming. It can still be about gaming, whatever you guys want. Were you surprised about no MLB The Show gameplay footage of the last day to play? I don't know. I wasn't really expecting it, so I didn't really have a category to think why it would or wouldn't be there. I don't know. I just see a lot of complaints on Twitter with $100 versions of games coming out before base release. I tell those people to cry more. Just cry more. I mean, they only bring things like that to the market if there's demand and willing consumers to pay for it. Sorry. Nothing's really changed for you if you don't want to buy the $100 version. Nothing's changed for you. What's changed for you? Oh, people can play before me. Okay. What are you, 6? Like, who cares? Who cares? If people with disposable income, if willing consumers are like, I'll pay extra to play early, and they're willing to pay, and you're like, I don't want to, then don't. Who cares? There are going to be a ton of people that play Avowed tomorrow, either through Game Pass or because they didn't want to pay for the premium edition upgrade, and they'll gladly just buy the normal edition, and they'll play tomorrow. The release date is the release date. You're still playing on the release date. You know what I mean? It's like review outlets get to play it early. Streamers get to play early sometimes so that they can give you a review in a YouTube video, day the embargo drops or whatever. That's obviously a bother when you're a smaller content creator and you're trying to get some of that access. It can be a little bit of a bummer, but I don't understand. Hang on, I just messed that up. I was trying to go to. Playing tomorrow on Game Pass makes no difference to me. That's what I'm saying. To me, if you don't want to pay, then don't pay. It's completely voluntary. You don't have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, just wait. If you were okay, let's just imagine that you could press a button and you could nuke early access from orbit and make it go bye-bye. What would change for you? What? Let's just say you hate it, you think it's stupid, you think it's scummy, and they gave you the power to destroy it. Would that change when you can play Avowed? No. No, if you're playing tomorrow on the release date, either through Game Pass or through purchasing the game, did nuking early access from existence, did it change your ability to play? Did it change your experience? No. You're going to play at the exact same time. Nothing has changed. Your perception has only changed simply because you have now made it to where people willing to spend can't. You know what I call that? Well, that's anti-consumer, isn't it? You're taking consumer choice away because you don't like it. My issue is calling it early access when everybody's able to buy it. No, it's early access. It's you're opting for a premium package. You're opting to get in early. You can pay for this in a variety of ways across the industry. Like, removing that choice from consumers, that's anti-consumer. When someone's like, I'm willing to pay the extra money, I'm willing to pay to get in early, and you want to take that away. Well, why? All right, 60 seconds. If you guys are going to try and do a buzzer beater to extend and get us to 100 members, you're going to have to hurry. I'm scheduling the green room right now. Scheduling the green room right now. Let's see. The green room is an end-of-the-day segment for paying members only. If you want to come with us, you do need to be at Member Plus or VIP. That's the $6 membership. And I give you guys the opportunity to extend the stream. And if not, no problem. We had a great start to the week. We'll just go to green room and get some work done. We got to figure out what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, what kind of videos we can make. Also, keep an eye. Oh, Paul Wright's going to try to get it going. He gets 5 and gets you guys 10 away. He gets you to 90. He says, come on, let's do it at the buzzer. Green room has been scheduled, but I'll give you guys a second here to see if Paul can't rally the troops with his generosity. He just blessed 5 people and got us a little bit closer. If you'd be okay with early access if it only costs $1 extra, then your issue isn't actually the principle of the thing. Right. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, to me, it's that they don't want to spend the money because they don't want to spend the money, and they therefore think that it shouldn't happen. And it's like, well, okay. I mean, there's plenty of things that are like that I don't spend money on. I mean, there were tons of optional things I could have paid for when I bought my car 7 years ago when I bought our van. And, GTA 6 Trailer 2 next week? I don't think so. I don't think the GTA 6 Trailer 2 is going to land in the same month as the earnings call. If they were going to trot it out, they would trot it out. They would have trotted it out closer to the earnings call. All right, I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes. Paul Wright bought you a stay of execution. He dropped a 5-bomb. He was hoping for some tag team partners to hit that first 100 members. Thank you so much for doing that. Destin Legary says, I don't understand how PlayStation fans can see that the PS5 is at 75 million and the PS4 was at 76.5 million in the same time frame and still jump in my replies and say that the console market is growing. PS5 75, PS4 76. Well, Destin, it would help if you actually looked at all the stats. I know that's difficult when you have to maintain a narrative. Looking at all the facts is difficult. I can help you with looking at all the facts. They are acquiring new users. According to their own reports, 42% of the people who bought PlayStation 5 in the previous fiscal period were brand new. In 2023, 30% of their monthly active users did not come from the PS4 era. Ergo, they're growing their market share, which is evidenced by their record MAU report for that same fiscal period, 129 million users. So it would stand to reason that they're growing in a market that you claim is not. There you go. Helped you out. Amskin with the 5-bomb puts us right on the doorstep of extending the stream and says, come on, we just need one more 5-bomb. Thank you so much, Amskin, for joining in with Paul. You have to understand, millions in Europe haven't upgraded because there's an effing war going on, and it has created a terrible economic climate. And wait for it, they're still selling at full price. And wait for it, GTA 6 hasn't come out yet. You know what I mean? Like, Matt Piscatello says 2024 saw a big dip in U.S. video game hardware spending as all current console platforms fell by double-digit percentage compared to 2023. What's more interesting is the strong uptick in accessories sales despite the hardware declines, helped by Portal, gamepads, headphones, and headsets. But again, the interesting thing about that stat is it fell because we're on the second side of the gen. It's not falling because the industry's shrinking. In the midst of it allegedly shrinking, they're increasing MAU and increasing new user acquisition. Their MAU is up. How is that not growth? That's what I'm saying. To claim that they're not growing when they are literally growing, I just don't get it. You're getting new users, your MAU is up, but the console industry is not growing. Okay. Like, all right, I'm giving you guys another couple of minutes here. We need another 5. We got to hit the 100. We got to hit the 100. I always hate to do it when somebody's trying. Jay says, when do you think trailer 2 is going to be out? Listen, if GTA 6 hasn't slipped and we get to May, I believe May is when all the marketing kicks up. I thought they were going to kick up the marketing in anticipation, and Keithius does it. He secures the 100 members. I now owe you guys a 20 bomb. I'm going to do it right now. You guys just extend the stream. I see you guys always like to wait until the very end. I know what you're doing. You're like, well, we'll get them to extend by 5, and then we'll secure them more. Yeah. I know how you do it. Here's the 20 that I owe you. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I thought they were going to ramp up the marketing in anticipation of the earnings call on February the 6th. That's what I thought they were preparing to do. And they didn't. And when they showed up to the earnings call and said, still slated for fall, and then I heard from Little Birdie that there is a deal with PlayStation and we'll see evidence of that in May, that seems to... And I heard that first. I heard that first before Jeff Grubb said that he heard PlayStation's considering a showcase and they're leaning in that direction. They're probably going to do a showcase. Well, May is when they typically do that. Right at the end of May, right before June, is when they like to do their showcase. Well, I don't know. So I'm hearing a marketing deal for GTA 6 we'll see evidence of in May, and then we hear from a completely different source that PlayStation's considering a showcase. It feels like these things are lining up to me. It feels like they're lining up. No one should be paying attention to fools who have been wrong every step of the way this entire generation. Yeah, I tend to agree. So, okay, you guys extended the stream, but I need a quick restroom break. I'm gonna hit some ads. This is the only time I hit ads. It's when I take a break. It's when you guys extend. You can keep pushing the member count if you want to keep it going. Keep going for those high records. I paid all the way up. I owed you 20. I paid the 20. Super chat goal's almost there. Fill the question command. You guys can fill the question command while I'm gone. I'll be right back. Sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. I thought my son got left behind, not in like a bad way. Like I thought my wife and I were going to do something, and I thought he was going to stay. Sometimes he stays back. And I'm like, buddy, hello? Are you here? So I was a little freaked, and I was like, oh, I guess he didn't stay back. I guess he went with him. So, all right, let's go through these questions. Jay says, do you think the Grand Theft Auto 6 hype is going down? It's an interesting situation with how this year's going to go. GTA 6 is monolithic. Like, it's so big, you can't necessarily like subdue it in any way. But it is interesting how they're going to let a lot of other games talk and a lot of other games procure, pre-order dollars and attention and market share of attention. But I don't think it matters. Like, I don't think it matters. I think the longer people wait and the more they are, like, hearing whispers and rumors, I think the more they're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I can't wait to dive in. I don't think the game's going to struggle, like, whatsoever. Yeah, that clip's not going over that well for them, is it? I have a little hype for GTA 6. I was hoping for good-looking tunes that don't look like drug addicts. I don't think it's gonna. I think you're gonna be able to make your character look the way you want. I think the lead characters look fine. We got some nasty weather coming in. It's supposed to get really cold and wet, which is never a good combination. Next 2 days, very cold. Wednesday is going to be the concern because Wednesday, although the chance of precipitation and snow has gone down for Wednesday to 55, it was higher. If it gets cold and doesn't rain or snow, I'm okay. If it gets cold and it's snowing and raining, that's always a concern because then the tree branches get heavy and the lines get heavy and then they can, power. We can lose power. I want to invest in one of those generators that uses the natural gas, but they're just too expensive. It's like $10,000. I'm like, like, all right, maybe I'll do that. Never, Jiminy Christmas. Here we go. Another question. Do you think there's going to be theme park in Grand Theft Auto 6? I have no idea. Let's see. SDO says, do you think 2025 will still be a great year for gaming, and can it compete with 2023? 2023 is not a hard year to compete with. What are you talking about? This year is stuffed. Let's just say GTA 6 gets delayed and doesn't make it. Okay, let's just say that one does. This year is absolutely stuffed. Like, I don't think 2023 comes close to what we're getting this year. 2023 is the best year in history. Can you explain? Are you being serious, Jesse? Why do you guys think 2023 was so good? I'm not saying it was bad. I'm saying this year is going to be fantastic. 2024 was better than 2023. By sheer quantity alone, even if a handful of the games come out this year are a dud, you can get a gasoline-powered generator for $1,000 that will take care of essentials. No, I need the one outside that just kicks on. I can't have $1,000 one that's good for essentials. Like, I need the real deal. I'm never gonna go. I'm always gonna go full on that type of a purchase. I never want to do a half measure. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like 2025 is gonna be crazy good. He's talking about install generator. Yeah, I'm talking about the one that's like in your backyard and it looks like an AC unit. It literally looks like an AC unit. You know? So I don't do half measures. For something like that, yeah. 2022 was the year of Elden Ring. Yeah, I don't know why somebody would pick 2023 as a big year. I wonder if they meant 2022. Oh, you were thinking of 2022. Ragnarok, Horizon, Elden Ring, Zelda, Gran Turismo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 2022 was a strong year. I was like, 2023? Yeah, I'm of the opinion that this year is sort of the first year that is that's beyond the reach of COVID. Like, the shadow of COVID is gone. We're out from beneath its reach, and everything's starting to make landfall. A lot of what we've been waiting for, a lot we've been hoping for. So the whole industry sucks, gaming sucks, AAA gaming is dying, you know, all of that. I don't buy into any of that. I think a lot of that's been heavily disproven. This guy just replied to my Avowed gameplay. Too many girls and looks woke. LOL. Delusional. You're delusional, man. You got a lot of you guys need help. Too many girls. There's too many girls in Avowed. Yeah. I think the first couple of characters I saw in Avowed were like weird looking creatures that were also dudes. Okay. GTA 6 to end Fortnite's reign. Not really in competition, but okay. 2025, Ghost of Yote, Death Stranding 2, Lost Soul Aside, Doom the Dark Ages, into Gaiden 4, just to name a few. 2025 is set to be a good year for all games. Yeah, I think it's a strong year. This is a contender for I think this is a contender for the best year of this generation. Even Xbox is going to have its strongest year. They've had some pretty inconsistent years, but like Avowed scoring well already from the early access folks. Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Outer Worlds 2, you know. I think Fable slipped. I don't think Fable's coming this year. I think it slipped and they'll be multi-plat when it comes out. But that's a strong year just from Xbox. PlayStation's going to have a strong year as well. And then there's all the multi-plats. Like, good golly. It's going to be hard to keep up with. So, let the whiners whine, you know, and the gamers game. That's my new motto, you know. Let the whiners whine and the gamers game. Because that's what we're going to do. Crimson Desert. Jor Raptor just released a video. He had hands-on with it. I like Jor's content, so you could check out his hands-on and see what he had to say. A Ghost Gaming says, do you think it's possible for Rockstar to release a trailer a week before release? No, they would never do that. Their marketing window typically is somewhere between 6 to 9 months. So, yeah, 6 to 9 months will likely be, from the time they start marketing to the time that it lands, will be, I think, somewhere in the 6-month window. I think they start marketing in May, and it lands late October, November, somewhere there. So, yeah. Yuzu Ichikawa says, I just got in. How do you feel about Xbox throwing their games on PS5? Do you think Sony is going to do the same? Sony has made virtually zero indication that they will ever do this. They have even made it clear that their move to PC is very specific. So a lot of people that have consistently misled the community and they consistently lie, they've consistently tried to claim that PlayStation's going to do the same, or they will lie and say PlayStation's doing the same thing. I'm very firm on this. These people are liars. They are not telling you the truth. They've misled you for years. They've talked about Xbox in ways that to me amounts to astroturfing, and they just run the marketing. They run the marketing talking points for Xbox, and they've continued to lie about PlayStation. You know, these people would say things like, well, we misunderstood what the CFO said when the CFO said that Xbox first-party games were going to start coming to PlayStation and Nintendo. We were told we didn't understand the context. No, you didn't understand the context. Welcome to Wrongville, population U, okay? These are the same people that have said, well, PlayStation is doing the same thing, but they'll do the same thing. They'll ignore the actual statements to the shareholders. Herman Holst says, our move to PC, we have a dual approach. Live service games come day and date. That makes sense. Live service games need a full funnel. It's a different effort. It's a different business strategy entirely. He says for the big narrative-driven games, the tentpole games, they come later in the hopes that we can coax people over and, maybe buy a sequel later on down the road. So their move to PC is console-centric. Well, these guys lie and they say, oh, but PlayStation's doing the same thing. They are not doing the same thing. These people are lying. They're not. Now, I've always said, if PlayStation is going to start doing day and date on PC, we will know because they will say something to the shareholders and they will restructure their studios. It'll be obvious. Like, the studios right now, they're not built for parallel development. They don't have the infrastructure. They do not have the staff to do parallel development. They build the game, and then they kick it to Nixus. That will all change. So, that's why it's so frustrating to consistently deal with these false narratives, because it is so dadgum pedestrian and simplistic. Xbox signaled loudly what they were doing to shareholders and to the public. PlayStation has signaled the opposite, and yet we keep getting told that this is where the industry's going and PlayStation's doing the same thing. It's a lie. It isn't true. And if they do it, I don't care. I'm on record as being okay with PlayStation games coming to PC. Don't care. I'm on record as being okay with Helldivers coming to Xbox. I don't care. All I've ever said is I don't want it to hurt the quality of the games. I don't. The pattern is that multi-plat games tend to have more issues. They tend to have more problems. That's the pattern. It's not a hard and fast rule. There are multi-plats that come out and are polished. There are first-party games that come out and have issues. But the general trend has been I get a higher caliber of quality in a game if it's made for one platform first. If they start making games for PlayStation and PC, I don't give a frick. I do not care. I'm not like, oh no, my jimmies are rustled. My favorite plastic box is no longer getting games before PC gets them. I don't care about that. All I care about is the quality of the game. Let's say there's a third game. It's not called Ghost of Tsushima. It's not called Ghost of Yotei. It's Ghost 3, okay? And let's say for whatever reason they decide to do PC day and date. Does not matter to me if the game is quality. I don't care. It'll never bother me. What's funny is these guys will come in here and try and shove that in my face like, yeah, Lost Soul aside, I'm going to be playing on my PC. Cool, I hope you have a great time. I don't care. PlayStation's paying for the game to be published. It seems like a great game. I hope it's excellent. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope I enjoy it. And I hope, here's the joke on you, I hope you buy it on Steam and it helps the developer and PlayStation make more money. That's a heck of a dunker, isn't it? Yeah. It's coming to PC and more people are going to give money to PlayStation. Good. Do you see? I win. You can't win in this equation because I want PlayStation and the studios to make tons of money. And if their efforts in the China Hero project results in games doing very well and selling well on PC, great. That's more money to PlayStation. That's more money to fund future publishing efforts in China. Cool. That'll likely help them sell more consoles in the market that allegedly is shrinking and dying. Great. It doesn't bother me one bit. I don't care. I celebrated Tsushima and Returnal coming to PC because they're some of my favorite games. It didn't bother me one iota. I have a short video that I put out on TikTok as well as on YouTube when ponies were celebrating the fact that The Last of Us Part 1 port was bad and they were rubbing it in the PC Master Race guys' faces. Do you know what I said? I said that those people were stupid. I was like, you're stupid. You don't make any sense to me. You like Sony property. You like Sony first-party titles to the point that you're going to celebrate a bad port. I think that you're stupid. Like, does that sound like a dyed-in-the-wool pony? Does that sound like somebody who cares if games go to PC? No. But just like all the false narratives these people run, the false narrative they run on me, it's It's brittle. It's fragile. Right? He says at the end of Andor, in his brilliantly written manifesto, he says tyranny is brittle because you have to maintain the delusion that there's control. You have to maintain your power through brittle means. And I think fan fiction is brittle. And I think it just breaks over time. Tomorrow would have been my late husband's birthday, but I'm going to get some flowers. Well, I hope that you can spend the day, grieving and remembering well. I think you can do both. And, I'll be thinking of you. That's tough. Jay asks me Xbox or PlayStation. I lean towards PlayStation now. This gen has really gone their way. So, this gen has really gone their way. Yuzu Ichikawa submitted another question. Would it be random if Sony made a deal with MiHoYo? I figure it might be a good idea seeing how much money Star Rail brings in, Honkai Star Rail. Don't a lot of those games do really well on Switch? I'm not super familiar with their lineup, so I don't know. Maybe their efforts to get into other markets could be helped by that, given those games and their popularity and their marketability. So maybe, yeah. Here's a question from SDO. Where do you stand on the cry of anti-consumerism whenever a game is exclusive? I don't buy it, but a lot of online folk do. Well, the new way I want to talk about this is it's not anti-consumer because a lot of consumers enjoy it. So it's only anti-you as a consumer. The group that cries and whines about it being anti-consumer, it's not anti-consumer. It's just anti-you. It is. It's anti your preferences. And my response is, buy a box of Kleenex, because I don't care. You can cry about it. You can whine about it. The market dictates where these things go, not your tears. It's not anti-consumer, because I like it. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. They have no problem with it. People buy Nintendo exclusives all the time. PlayStation exclusives, they buy them all the time. Support them and enjoy them. So it's not anti-consumer. It's anti-you. And the market seems to be a whole lot stronger than your whining antics on Twitter and YouTube. And here's the deal. People are going to learn a real hard lesson. Authenticity is like gold. It doesn't fade. It doesn't lose value over time. Do you know what does? Bad faith, disingenuine mouthpieces. You fade with time. You do. Because eventually people start to see it for what it is. You know what I mean? $5 super chat from Dark. He says, so forget when you got excited for Pro Enhanced, or when you said you hate a company for its practices, yet you love getting scammed by Sony. I've not been scammed by Sony at all. I willingly gave them money and I've gotten great value for it. So, yeah. Your opinion that I got scammed is just juvenile insecurity. You think that your decisions as a consumer are absolute, and when I do something that you don't approve of or you think is bad or whatever, you think I'm getting scammed. It's just because you're insecure in your choices. Like a little boy who feels if someone does something different than them, that's somehow like a threat to you. I willingly chose to spend the money and I've enjoyed it. I also spent way more money on a PC right here with a 4070 Super, and I'm not using it to play games on. Like, I'm not scammed at all. You understand that, like, I literally was able to afford a PC that's better than my other PC, and I don't even use it for gaming. So how could I be scammed? I'm willingly spending money on things that I want and using them in the way that I wanted to. It sounds like I'm a person in a position of power over my own choices. No one's making me do anything. No one's tricking me. You're giving money to a stranger on the internet to denigrate their choices of purchase. Like, are you feeling okay? I suppose I could add that $5 to the pile and buy another PS5 Pro. I don't know. I mean, you could, I guess, fund my ability to be scammed. You thought being in debt was a good point? I'm not in debt. I'm not in debt. I paid for these things. I don't owe anybody money on them. They're mine. What do you mean? I didn't get these at like layaway at Kmart or something. Like, they're mine. They're in my home and I own them. Credit cards paid off. I don't I'm not in debt. What you think when you spend that kind of money you automatically go in debt? I didn't take out a mortgage on my PC or my PlayStation 5 Pros. Again, are you feeling okay? Do you understand how money works? Like, you're willingly giving me money. Do you understand how money works? You might want to give the credit card back to mom. You're going to get in trouble. Enjoy says, do you think it's weird that Intergalactic didn't get a release, but Saros did? Yeah, I don't know about that. Intergalactic's a question mark for me on release timing. I have a mortgage means you owe the bank. How do you think someone gets a mortgage? That's your 10th super chat on my channel. Keep going. This is fun. How do you think someone gets a mortgage? And how many people do you think historically across the scope of the globe are buying houses with cash? Right? So in the grand scheme of things, when someone's able to get a mortgage from the bank to get a house, would you say that that person is a productive citizen earning a living? Or, I mean, how do you think you get to that point? I mean, I'm curious if you know how it works. I mean, we could maybe do a little seminar here. About what it means. You guys really got hurt by when I said that. He's literally bringing up a clip. Man, this must have really hurt them, where I said, I've got a mortgage, you've got a Twitter account. We are not the same. I have a mortgage and you're helping me pay for it. We are not the same. You're literally super chatting to be mean. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the money you gave me today and I'm going to go to my bank later today and I'm going to spend that exact amount extra to my mortgage. So keep the super chats coming. I've got time. I don't have anywhere to be. Keep it coming. You think you can win? Your 10th super chat. I wish I could run a report on all 10 and add it all up. I can only add up today's from you. Dear Lord, here's another one. By taking a loan from the bank. No, I'm not in debt like you. I didn't need a mortgage. I paid my house in full. Poor guy, so dumb it's sad. So let me get this straight. You are at a financial status of so much wealth that you bought a house cash and you're spending your time super chatting a YouTuber because you don't like what I say in my opinions. I'm not a detective, but if I were to profile you based off of your choices, I would say that I don't think what you're saying is true. Like, I know a lot of guys that are really wealthy and could just buy a house at cash. And actually, it's not really good for your credit to do that, but whatever. Let's just say you are that liquid. I don't know very many really, really wealthy people that are like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to super chat this YouTuber because I really don't like what he says. Oh, wow. I think this is more entertaining than taking the questions from the Q&A. You guys, this guy's really outdoing you. He's really outdoing you. You think $14 is a lot? Prayers? I don't think I said it was a lot. I find it how do you not see the comedy in giving me money to hate me? It's not a flex. It's not a flex. You're literally debasing yourself and wasting your money. Like, if I'm as terrible and dumb and awful as you seem to think I am, holy mackerel, what a waste of money. What a monumental waste of your money. Good Lord. Phoo-wee. See, what's always funny about this is you guys did this the other day. Expressing your own emotional instability and insecurity by paying me money, like, you're not in the position of power here. You just aren't. The man derailed this entire chat. Can you even buy? Yeah, I don't know why it's giving you errors, Yuzu Ishikawa. I'm not sure. Your last couple questions hit the form. There might be a limit. You might not be able to submit more than 2 questions. I'm not sure. So maybe that's why you're getting the error message that you're getting. Like, I think if I was that wealthy, I think the last thing I'd be doing with my time and money is doing what you're doing. I wouldn't watch somebody that I don't like so that I can give them money. You know what I mean? Like, you're expressing a severe sign of stupidity. Like, there's just a real lack of intelligence there. Like, where's the prudence and the wisdom? You're not living a very, like, wise, prudent, or stoic life. You're expressing a very severe case of immaturity. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine being that well off that I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go hate watch someone and give them money. It's like, brother, I'd be feet propped, investing, probably reading financial reports or something. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Goodness gracious. Time's more valuable than the $14 you've given me. What are you doing with your life and your time? Is this what you'd imagine your life would be like? Are you proud of this? Like, what? Yeah, like, wow. Man. To be so emotionally affected by a stranger. Like, I'm nobody to you. I'm nobody. You could shut this screen off and never, ever see me ever again. Like, that's how much power you have. You can just shut the screen off and never, you're like, I don't have to ever listen to this guy ever again. But you guys are so emotionally deranged and obsessed. It's like, Jiminy Christmas. Insomniac with the $2. Thank you so much. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think about you guys that come in here and do this. The minute I'm not engaging with you or the minute I'm not live, I don't think about you guys for a minute. It's just like, phew. Anyway, we went 10 minutes past. We do need to go to the green room. The question, I answered all your questions. You guys that submitted questions to the question queue, thank you so much for doing that. And hey, everything adds up. They paid me like $130 the other day to hurl hate at me, and we can add another, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks to the total. So thanks. I just bought my kids a popcorn maker, and you guys basically paid for it. So thanks for that. We're going to head to the green room. I'm going to put a link in the chat. What if the house you bought with cash is a tree house? Yeah, maybe. AOZ says you have power over him. It seems really easy. Like I just sit here and say stuff and they get really upset and then come and give me money or advertise me for free. And I didn't have to do anything other than talk. Like, anyway. All right, there's the link in chat. That's where we're going. If you want to come to the green room, you got to upgrade to VIP. And Hex is going to do an Agents of Chaos right here at the buzzer and bump the line to 101. We got work to do in the green rooms where we get that done. But you have to be a paying member to join us. So consider upgrading. It's $1, $6 a month, or VIP for 10, and you get to come to the green room. And if you got a gifted membership, welcome. Very generous community here. Every morning starts with morning coffee. And be on the lookout tonight for a video about how Borderlands 4 is evolving. All right, here we go. All right. Thank you so much for being a Member Plus or a VIP. We continue to get closer and closer to that 600 mark. We're in like the 570s, so we've moved and we're hanging out in the 570s. So anybody at the tail end of the previous stream, if you want to upgrade, consider doing so. It helps us out. Thank you so much to all the viewers and all the contributors today who did super chats, who did gifts. I appreciate it very, very much. And these green rooms are now a great way for us to end every single day. So make sure you guys get in here and become a part of the conversation, as well as be a part of those town halls every Friday as well. And as I said, be on the lookout for those evening uploads. We did one about the Days Gone remaster. If you haven't watched it, check it out. I have one this morning about the Soros game changing the sequel. They're redefining what it is to be a sequel, and then a Borderlands video coming tonight. I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect folks over, and I am going to change that thumbnail because